Good morning, everybody. To figure out where I want to put the camera today. We'll start out with this and see how that works. Just getting out here and getting set up, or starting to think really hard about getting set up anyway. Always takes me a few minutes to get ready. I apologize for that, but nobody's watching, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Here I am, get all the shindigging set up here. And since nobody's here yet, let's make sure we get volume. Testing, testing, testing. Good morning, Uncle Lou. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Okay. Set that up. Appreciate you coming in, Uncle Lou. I am just now getting set up. Just got here. Tried my best not to fall and kill myself getting down the hill here. Get some of these sinkers out. Start getting ready for a good day of fishing. Start out with 6-ounce sinkers and see if that's going to make it or not. Okay. This may be my only single hook rig for the day. We'll start off with some salted Asian carp. Hadn't been salted that long, but it's still getting there. So the water is up from the last time we were here. I will be back looking at chat here shortly. Just want to get some rods out. So this is one of the modified mortician rigs. If you've watched any of my live streams lately, you've had no choice but to find out about these. Really wanting to give these a good test. So that kind of got us right on the current seam there. We're going to hope that does well for us. And this rig is what I call the floating double hook rig. You have one hook that's actually snelled on and the other one free floats. The idea is that you can use a myriad of bait sizes. If you have one really big piece, you can use that, hook the bottom hook first, and then slide the top hook up wherever you want to. And hopefully, the idea anyway, is that you've got an extra adjustability. Getting this 6-ounce sinker tied on. Okay, so I'm hearing one of my clickers going. So it's this one, he's trying to get settled in somewhere. I am using cannonball sinkers. Not the best for this situation, but it's what I have. Okay. As I just found out, the 6-ouncer is wanting to roll. Let me grab a little more weight, put on there. I have one of these 4-ouncers. Not exactly sure what that style is called, but kind of looks like a headstone. Let's see it wrap around here. That did not give me what I wanted. Trying my darndest to get this cannonball off here, and it just, it's outsmarting me. Still not. Okay, well apparently we're going to be using this 6 ounce on that one and be done with it. Grab some more of my salted Asian carp here. 2 chunks on here. Ouch! After I stab myself a little bit, because why not? One piece on. I'm sure you could tell we were under train tracks. I did that because I thought, boy, people will love the sound of trains all day long. One of the greatest things while fishing, baby wipes. Get somewhat cleaned up here. Some of the salt off my hands. Okay, back to chat we go. Let's see. The hot rod tracker is sitting in the driveway. Fred Blogs. Let me think here. Unless you're a game warden, it's none of your damn business. Scotty, it's me. Early in the morning and everything. Hey, well, Lady Slaw. Hey, Rosnick, how you doing? Alexander Huber, welcome in. Mossad, nice to see you. Wabash Nate, good to see you. There's everybody. So last time I was out, I had to bust off a couple of my lines. Not really what I wanted to do, but that's how things ended up. And if the game warden wants to come check my license, he or she is more than welcome to, but I don't answer to trolls. I mean, I drove here. I bet you want to know about the driver's license too, don't you? Again, none of your business. So this one is going to be the 12-aught River Cats tackle hooks. I made up one rig last night with this. And I want to try these things out. These are the German alloy steel ones. Let's see what we got here. Come back here. Am I in Brazil? No. No, not in Brazil. Hey, Richard Barrow, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. So my problem was I could not sleep last night. I should have just gone fishing last night down here, but I didn't. So I laid in bed and thought really hard about going to sleep, and that didn't work. I'm as surprised as you are. So the fib link rod on the left here is going to be the one with the River Cats Tackle 8/0 hooks. I expect y'all to keep track of that because my brain's too small. Okay. So since my 6/0, at least one of them, didn't hold bottom, I'm going to use two 4/0s on this one. Or not 6 ounce, 4 ounce. Words are hard. Okay. Now, grab our cutting board, our bait knife, and a couple of frozen skipjacks. I'm pretty sure somebody is going to come up with the good question of, well, idiot, if you got frozen skipjack, why on earth are you using salted Asian carp? Because it was faster. And dare I say cleaner. So I knew I was going to have to rig up some of these. Okay. There's a hook in the face. Take the second hook. And hook it in the back. So. Here we go with 8 ounces of lead. Not as far as anybody would have liked. Well, me anyway. So I got those 4 out for right now. And that will get us started. I use my little rig bag here as my trash bag for the time being. Get a couple of 6 ounces there. Put that over there. And let me take a look at the picture and see how that looked. Am I? Okay. Okay, so I've got 4 rods out, as you can all see. The 5th one in the back is not out because it needs to be tied up. Take my fan. Get a little breeze going here. So I've got a fan on my tripod to keep the camera cooled down. Come on. Okay, so you see the back of my pretty bald head. What state am I in? I am, actually right now I'm in Arkansas. Got the barge going by. Okay, we're gonna use it for bait. So I've got 3 rigs. We're using the salted Asian carp, which I thawed out a couple of days ago. So I took what came back home with me that I didn't use and threw it in salt. So it's not fully cured yet. I don't really know how good of a bait it's going to be, but it's something I'm using. And then the far left, as far as where it's casted, rod, that's the taller one with the black reel on it, if you can see that. That one has almost half a skipjack on it, the headpiece. A lance, sometimes you just gotta, I couldn't go to sleep. Appreciate all the likes and subscribes and all of that fun stuff. You guys are awesome and amazing and frankly beautiful. Hey, Ryan, welcome in, welcome in. Can I handle 4 rods? That's a personal question, sir. I am in the state of disarray. How many rods do we need to catch no fish? 5 is the correct answer. Thank you. Well, Scotty, one of them's not out, so there's that. Hey, Pierre, welcome in, welcome in. So, what I had in the truck from the last shindig, I got 2 of the fib link rods. Those are the taller ones. Those are the 8.5 footers. And I've got 2 of the, this front rods. Let me look at y'all's perspective, make sure it's the same. Yeah, so it's reversed, doggone it. Hate it when that happens. Anyway, and one of my lines went super loose. So there's that. So I apologize, everybody, that my right is your left and your left. Yeah, you got it. So I'm going to call them as I see them. Y'all can hate me for that. Rod 1, Rod 2, Rod 3, Rod 4. Rod 2 got a little hit there. That's the one that's got the skipjack on it. And Rod 3 is slack. Now that could just be because it got settled in place. I'll turn the flicker off because nobody likes to hear it. And it's hung up, but it's hung up really close. We'll walk this way with it. Oh, it's in those rocks. So it's not going to come free. Wrap this around the knife handle a couple of times while trying not to cut my beautiful hand, and use it to pull. Come on. So I got part of the rig back. Well, I had part of the rig pulled free. Then I got hung again. I'll pull it straight back, see what happens. Nope. Grab the knife handle again. Wrap the line around it 3 or 4 times and use it to pull. And I got none of the rig back. Yay, Mikey! So the last time I was here, that piling was out of the water by a long ways. I would say it's up 6 feet since the last time I was here. Now that doesn't mean a whole lot to any of you. But there's rocks down there. You know, you never realize how much of a hub for transportation Memphis is until you get under a bridge where there's trains going all the time. So this is going to be another one of those mortician rigs. And this was the rod that earlier was, the 6 ounces wasn't holding it. It was letting out lines so it could find where it wanted to be. Well, it found where it wanted to be. Apparently it likes rock. Let me know how bad that train noise is. I've got the noise cancellation or active sound, I don't know what it's called, activated on my Duma Flicky here. Let's see. Let's see. You know, Lance, ain't nothing wrong with having the river to yourself. So, rod number 1, as I call it, and I may have just not been able to hear because the train was over. It doesn't look like it's rolling back and forth. But it does have the clicker on. So we'll see. So the bridge right here, that is a car bridge. That is I-55. We got a train bridge, and I think that's Big River Crossing over there, although it may be also be a train bridge. You need the location, don't know where to fish the river for catfish. Well, Cash Ties, you sir have the same problem I do. There's not, and in Memphis, there's just not a lot of access. So rod number 2 just went a little slack, but I'm in. So we've got the current seam out there, and then we got a little bit of an eddy. So a little bit of movement is not going to scare me. Cash Ties. Well, I just kind of told you where I'm at. So that's the I-55 bridge, and I'm on the Arkansas side. There you go. That's exactly where I'm at. So I need a breakaway setup. Well, I've never heard of such a thing. But what I have here, mortician's rig, I got 80-pound leader, got 2 40-pound snoods, and then a I think 40-pound. Some of them are 30, some of them are 40. I think this one's 40 going to my sinker. So the idea is that any of this should break before my main line in theory, because I'm not using the same quality knots on the sinker. And there you go. Yeah, lines are going to move. I realize that. That doesn't mean I can't pretend like I'm getting fish. Apologize, folks. I'm what you call old. Now, let me see. Let's see. So I'm going to use these 4-ounce sinkers. I call them bank sinkers, but I'm sure they have a better name than that, because there's other ones that are called bank sinkers too that are different. I really would have thought 6 ounces would have held, but that may be just because they're cannonballs. That's going to make them roll around a lot more. So I'll put 2 of these on for my 8 ounces. Set it over here in the rod holder. After I quick dorking my own lines in it. There we go. I'm making this harder than it needs to be. Move that one over. Set it there. Grab my trusty, dusty, rusty bait knife. My cutting board. Get 2 nasty, nasty pieces of bait on here. But I'm out of there. One piece of skipjack on. I'm hoping they'll both stay on through the cast at least. The skipjack's not all that firm when it's fresh. And then when you freeze it and thaw it, it sure doesn't get better. Okay. Get some skipjack nastiness off my fingers. And back around over here. So for hardware today, this one is a PC Fun Halios 400 reel, Chaos Pro 50 reel. This one is a Abu Garcia Carp Special, which is basically a 6500 C3 rebadged. And then this is a Chaos XS 50. And with any luck, if you look in the stream in the description, there's a link to PC Fun. It's a referral link. If you use that link and you've never signed up on PCFun.com before, it will give you a $25 off $70 purchase. Now, to make that a little better, so you get $25 off using the coupon, and if you buy something, then I get a $25 off coupon for me to go buy stuff that I want. Doesn't cost you any more, obviously saves you money. Now, if you go on their main page, after you click my link, scroll down a little bit, you'll see a flash sale. And on there is the Carbon X spinning reel. That was weird. The rod that just shook is the one that is not even in the water. That was cool. That was cool how that worked. The Carbon X2 spinning reel and the PC Fun Alios 300 and the Alios 400. Those are both low profile bait casters. The 300 is either 85 or 90, and the 400 is on sale right now for 115, which is a pretty good price for it. I got mine for about 100. That was probably Black Friday or something. And, you know, tariffs and stuff have gone up since then. So anyway, we got all that. The Alios 400 and the 300 both, they have magnetic brake, not the centrifugal brakes. The 400 has a bait clicker on it. The 300 does not have a bait clicker, but does have a flipping switch in case you care. And there you go. I've been really happy with all of my PC Fun reels. That's the one I just threw out. You know what I am going to do? We'll lock all these down so we can see if we can get a good takedown. It's going to take a lot of force to get that cart moving. So there we go. So this rod here has rolled itself pretty much up against that piling there. So yeah. Doesn't mean that there won't be fish there though. Especially since it's early in the morning. So we'll keep an eye on these. And the gentleman that was at, or the person, I assume it's a gentleman, that does not mean I'm right. I'm usually wrong. That asked about fishing places in Memphis for the Mississippi. You can also access Mud Island. If you go out on Mud Island up towards the ramp on the north end, there's a couple of bank spots there. Go down a little further to another parking space, a parking area, kind of the middle of Mud Island area there. There's some bank fishing spots there. You, depending on how high the river is, you're crawling down rocks, but it is what it is. And then, of course, you can go down to the south end of Mud Island. There you got to pay to park, but you got the boat and the peninsula, off the peninsula end. So Mud Island is actually not an island, it's a peninsula. But Memphis, we don't use big words very often correctly. Let's see, let's go back here. Flat, yeah, the cannonball is good for bumping. It's what I've got on me. Well, Rustic, you know, we're going to see how fast Big Fat Mike can move. And y'all have never seen me actually catch a fish, so there's that. James Burridge, you are wrong, sir. I can catch a cold. So there you go. Hey, Barrett's World. Hello, Ashley. Lightning after a big... That's mean. I'm actually doing the keto diet right now, so there's that. Hey, Jules Van... last name. Let's see. Hello, Mutha K. How you doing? Drop leg like surf fishing in Florida. Actually, Barrett's World, it's very similar. Godric Lyons, hello. Elise Elliott, good morning. Good morning, Eric B. How you doing, my friend? I keep hearing noise from the bridge and thinking it's my clickers, but they can't be my clickers because they are all tight. Let's see. Jose Rosales, how you doing? I don't know what a tope or a tope means, but hey, anyway. Hey, Wendell, last name I can't come up with, but M. Let's see. Hey, Super Goat. How many fish do I have now? Well, it's a round number. It rhymes with Nero, Piro, and sounds a lot like zero. What bait did I use? So I've got cut skipjack on the 2 tall rods. The one closest to me has skipjack head. The other has 2 body parts. The other 2 rods have salted Asian carp, which is Asian carp that got cut up and thrown into salt to preserve it. Hey, Andrew Carr. Hey, Lloydies. How you doing, my man? Good to see you. Wendell, and I'm probably butchering your name, and at least I'm trying a little bit. My day is going so pretty good. I couldn't sleep last night. I put out a video. Well, it's going to go out about 3 o'clock Central today. Taking apart the Viper X reel from PC Fun. And, yeah, there we go. Hey, Josh, I'll be happy to get that skunk out of the way. And somebody's name who is just hi. Hi. Hey. So, I talked to Ashley, my girlfriend, fiance, Ashley, last night. Told her I was thinking about going fishing, but I wanted to get out here. But when we're going to come out here, I wanted to get out here before dark to get set up at least. Instead, I was tying rig to get home from the gym, and it got dark, and well, things happened. So we didn't come out, and I couldn't sleep. So, again, made a video last night after I live streamed some. Tried going to bed for an hour or 2, and that didn't work. And I was like, you know what? I can lay here and think about it, or I can go fishing. So I went fishing, woke her up in the process. Apparently bright light is not a good thing for her in the morning. She's like, well, she was going to do a run this morning. I don't know what time she was going to do that. And she's like, well, can I come out there later? And I was like, sure, come on out if you want. So there you go. Have I fished Lake Anna? Andrew, I have not. I don't know where Lake Anna is. So no. Hey, Divine Touch. No, it's not a Mad Catch rod. Actually, 2 of them, the ones that don't have the multicolored grip on them, those are anvil rods, extra heavy. And the other 2 are fib links. They're off of Amazon. They're 8.5 footers versus the 7.5 footers that the anvils are. They're 2 pieces, which is why I bought them. I wanted 2-piece rods. But as you can notice, the guide spacing at the top of those rods is not as tight as the anvil rod. So if you get a good bend on it, the line will touch the blank, which is not the worst thing that could ever happen, but it will add somewhere in that point. So there's that. Yeah, so I'm down in Memphis, Tennessee, my man, so I have not fished Lake Anna. So going back to Barrett's World, drop rigs like you use in for surf fishing. So actually, it's a take on, the ones I'm using mostly are a take on the Nations rig, and I've just started playing around with it. This rig was created by someone down in, I want to say Florida. It was the fishing mortician, who is actually a mortician and trains fishes. I know, neat how that works. He uses it more for like pompano rigs, and he uses just a single or just overhand knots to hold the snood part in place, the actual droppers, and that doesn't work with this heavier line. It'll just slide those knots down with enough force. So I went to the figure 8 knot for those. And it's an interesting rig. If you want to look up the Mortician's rig and how it's tied, it's nice. What I can tell you, so I do fish down in the panhandle of Florida. And everybody down there, and pretty much everywhere I see that uses the double hook rig, they use those T-knots. And I've got a rig puller tester, strength test thingamajiggy at home that I built, and I tested that T-knot, and that T-knot is not good, man. It's not strong. It gives you a little over 50% of the actual breaking strength of the line of the mono, not the rated strength, but like, so 30-pound line usually breaks around 38 pounds. So it was giving me about 23 pounds, I believe. Breaking strength, which is, in my opinion, abysmal. So I was looking for better ways of doing it. And I also don't like that you have that big, the whole thing's a big loop. And so you can't snell a circle hook properly on that. So that's one of the reasons I like the Mortician rig. And I had tried playing with other variations, like using a triple surgeon's loop instead of the T-knot, and it's stronger, but still not perfect. So there's that. Hey, is he reels? Yes, handy dandy cart. It is fabulous. What about a 9 slip or a 12 slip? Jadon, I don't know what that means. I'm not very bright. Good morning, Kamari. Lisa Elliott, I already said hi to you, but hi again. How you doing? And I'll tell you what, folks. Everybody was live July 4th night. Yesterday, nobody. It was just crickets. So I finally got tired and was like, somebody got to go live. Might as well be me. So I was going to do some rigs. And as I'm getting set up, Copy Man Jigs goes live. I'm like, well, I've already decided I'm going live, so I'm going anyway. And if you don't watch Copy Man Jigs, you might want to look him up. He, amazingly enough, I know this is going to sound just incredibly crazy with a name like Copy Man Jigs. He ties jigs and pours soft plastics and all kinds of stuff like that. But he goes live a lot, and during the day and stuff, which is nice if you want something to watch during the middle of the day, because most of us have day jobs and go fishing at night and weekends. So anyway. Through the eye, 12 loops around Maine and back through and pull. So like a no-knot snell? Are you talking about putting the doubled over loop through there and doing it? If you know of a video on that technique, go ahead and add a comment and link to that video. Tell me about it. I'd appreciate it, because I'd like to see it, because I consider myself a learner. I like trying new stuff and testing the stuff we've always been told, right? One of those things, the Palomar knot is the strongest knot in the whole hour. No, it's not. The no-knot snell is the strongest knot I've found. Tie with 8 wraps or so. And about 75% of the time, the line's going to break somewhere other than near the knot. The knot's going to hold up. So, that's another reason why I don't like using the T-knot with the loop on the end, because you can't do a no-knot snell, which gives you all that extra strength. And when you have to do a cow hitch knot, you're rubbing up against the sharp point where the hook, the wire that makes the hook goes around the eye, and then you got the sharp point over here where it rolls back around to the eye. So, yeah, unless you use a welded eye, of course, then you don't have that issue. But most of us don't use welded eyes because we're cheap. God knows I'm cheap. So we're having a great day out here. Most of these are cast near the current seam this rod, the short one over here, it's pretty much going to that piling at this point. It's rolled around and done its thing. The tall rod closest to me is my far left one. The one to the left of it, which I guess is your right because it's all backwards, the one in the front there, the low profile bait caster, that one's kind of, second one going that way, and then the other tall one's kind of straight out. Down here I've got rocks, I know that. I've been down here before when the river was lower. And past this piling that you can't see, there is a wing dike or break or whatever you want to call it. A bunch of rocks piled up to kind of cut the current down and kind of keep the heavier current in the channel. And I don't know how much, because last time I was, you know what, I'm gonna stop using words and show you with pictures. Oh, I'm old. So, we're panning left, even though, yeah. Gotta wait for my tablet here to catch up. Okay, so there's the big piling right there. It should move a little more if it hadn't already. But that piling, last time I was down here, I was fishing well in front of that piling because there was a wooden structure in front of it. And then I was down probably another 15 feet in front of it, of that piling. Okay, so we're just south of downtown Memphis, sitting under the I-55 bridge. It looks like I've got 100 people in here, and if I do, God bless each and every one of you. And just trying to set this back up so we can see a little better here. I am on the Arkansas side of Memphis. So this bridge, hopefully you can see my finger, that is the I-55 bridge coming from Memphis into Arkansas. You got train bridge. I think that's a train bridge there. I don't know if that's Big River Crossing or if that's off of I-40, because I don't walk that much, as you may have figured out. So kind of give you a lay of the land. I know you can't see what I'm pointing at, but kind of give you an idea. I cannot see Bass Pro Pyramid from here, mostly because of that piling in the way. But Memphis has the Bass Pro Pyramid. And if you think that's stupid, it is. But you don't know why it's stupid, really. So I'll explain it to you. I still don't see it. So, back in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of cities were doing this whole sister city nonsense. This is our sister city. Well, Memphis, Egypt is our sister city. And we had a big Ramses the Great exhibit with a bunch of artifacts and relics from King Tut's tomb and stuff like that. So we were just all over that. Well, the powers that be in the city of Memphis and some developers who wanted to get rich came up with the idea, what we needed was a pyramid. We had the Memphis Coliseum, well, it's called the Mid-South Coliseum, but it's where Liberty Land was over there with it back when we had Liberty Land, which was kind of like a scaled down version of Six Flags. Anyway, well, the Mid-South Coliseum had been around for decades, and it was kind of falling in disrepair, and Memphis was trying to court an NBA team. and went with the whole nonsense of if you build it, they will come. So they built this monstrosity on the bank of the Wolf River Inlet, which is really not anything except some water behind Mud Island that is not part of a river at all. I mean, it's part of the Mississippi, but that's it. They built this gigantic pyramid. And when they first put it up, the panels on it were too reflective. And it was blinding. Oh, that one thinking about something. The tall one closest to me. It was blinding people on I-40 as they were going to or from work. I forget. Sun rises in the east, it sets in the west. So, yeah, anyway. Causing slowdowns and wrecks and all kinds of stuff. So they had to redo the panels on the outside of the pyramid. Let me tell you, I'm sure that was just cheap as could be. Back in the days of Mayor Willie Harrington. Let's see. Let me read some more stuff here. Been on a break from YouTube, I understand. Let's see. Hey, Melvin. Hey, Peter. Donald Duck Trump. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny, because if it is, you failed miserably. Hey, cool boys. Jaden, the Uninot. Oh, okay. I know the Uninot. It does look like a great cat spot. Of course, Mississippi is known for big cats. I am not known for catching them. I'm still trying to find them. This is my second time at this spot. And Memphis, this does not have a lot of good fishing spots. We've got let me get back to the pyramid and I'll go to the fishing spot at the store. So this pyramid was supposed to replace the Mid-South Coliseum. They were going to have concerts in there. I bet you can imagine how well the acoustics in the pyramid were. Not good. But it did manage to get us the Memphis Grizzlies. I keep trying to think that's the Dallas Grizzlies, but there's the Mavericks. So, the Grizzlies, because Memphis has literally 0 Bears. That's East Tennessee. But whatever. Ever makes them happy, we've got the Memphis Grizzlies. Well, so Memphis Grizzlies agreed to come here, and they would play in the pyramid until they could get what is the FedEx Forum built, because they wanted an arena that was more to their whatever. So, of course, we then built the FedEx Forum for them and made some really ridiculous deals, like any event that's going to have more than 5,000 people, and I think that includes the employees working the event. So like concerts and stuff, you have to get their approval to have it anywhere other than the FedEx Forum. The basketball team gets to dictate this. The what? Yeah, anyway. So, for years, the pyramid sat vacant. A giant memorial to the stupidity of our government. And they tried a lot of different deals to get somebody in there. And Johnny Morris came along and said, you know what? For a cheap enough price, I'll build a big giant ass Bass Pro in there. And use some of the upper levels. The first 2 levels are the Bass Pro shops. It's got a little mini bowling alley in there. It's got a couple of restaurants. It's got, I think there's an indoor archery range. The bowling is what really got me. But, so that's the first 2 floors. And then above that is, I want to say Great Wolf Lodge or something. Anyway, it's hotel rooms for, I think, maybe 3 stories of those, maybe more. I don't know. And then there's a lookout as you go way up top. You have to pay to get in a special elevator to get up there. And there's also a bar or restaurant up at the very top. So what was a ridiculous eyesore to Memphis that reminded us how bad our government truly is, it's now a Bass Pro Shop. And Memphis has another Bass Pro Shop, Outdoor World. It's a little one. It's out the east side of town. It's kind of small to be called a Bass Pro, because I've been in the ones, in Dallas. I went to one in Springfield, Missouri. Grapevine Texas first, and they built one in Dallas, or Garland actually, off of Lake Ray Hubbard. So, yeah, it's kind of a the other one we have is kind of small. I'm surprised it's still open, to be honest with you, but hey, whatever floats their boat. So that is the story of the Memphis Pyramid. Dwayne, I think I've already told you I'm downtown Memphis. If not, yeah. Well, not, yeah, I guess technically this is West Memphis. I'm just literally beneath the bridge. Brendan, am I fishing for used vibrators and dildos? No, I leave those at your mother's house. I bet you thought that was funny. I'm just going to help you out here, you dumb shit. Hey, Lisa Swain, how you doing? Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. If you're going to troll, I love good trolls. You, sir, suck at trolling. That's the problem. That's, of course, going to Brendan, who thinks we fish for vibrators and dildos. And I'd hate to pull the ones that you're using out of your butt right now, because God knows I'm sure they stink. Anyway, jackass. Hey, Dwayne Arrowhead. Hey, and it's all P. Chattanooga, boy, I'll tell you, I was over there earlier this year. Normally it's every May. They're going to move it to April next year. They have what they call a gathering out there. It's put on by Trophy Seeker Outdoors. A bunch of us catfishermen get together at Chester Cross Park for a few days of fishing and camaraderie and hanging out, and nobody's trying to sell you much of anything. It's just a good time. Went there the last 2 years and have enjoyed it. I'm not sure if that's a walking bridge or not. Ashley could tell me. I want to say it is, but I may be wrong. So it's not, I-55 is not the walking bridge. I think if it's any, it's going to be that far one over there. But I know a train goes down the center one. I think trains still go on the left one too. But the big river crossing may actually be up north at the I-40 bridge. I don't know. How far from Hernando? Yeah, so the Hernando de Soto Bridge is the main bridge. That's I-40. I-55 is probably a couple miles south. I mean, I'm sure if I walked far enough out and looked up, I could see it. It's not that far. These are the two bridges that go across the Mississippi in this area. Hey, Jaden. Hey, Dominic Weeder Dog. Hey, John Boys. Hey, Van Dam, adventure traveling photographer. I am not catching anything. But what I am doing, I mean, I might be working on a sunburn. I don't know. I've got some cut salted Asian carp out there, and I've got some cut previously frozen skipjack. Hey, Danny Stone, did I seriously try to troll the king? Yeah, see, that's the thing. Okay, I respect trolling. It's an art form. But put just a little bit of thought into it. I mean, don't be lazy. If you're going to be lazy, if you're going to reuse stuff from other people because you just can't come up with anything original, let me help you out. Say hi. And you know what I'm going to say? Hey, welcome in. Glad to see you. Because that's the kind of guy I think I am. And if anybody's wondering why you haven't seen any Lamar Jackson edit stupid stuff, or the word knee followed by the word grow that is the other latest stupid troll, I went into the content, I think, tab and went to blocked words, and I put the phrase knee followed by grow and the phrase Lamar Jackson. So if they spell Lamar Jackson right, it's not going to come through. There you go. Live bluegills do work wonders. If I had any, I'd use them. If I had any sense, I'd probably go back to the truck and get my ultralight and try to catch some, but that requires me not being lazy. And see, there are people out there that work hard at catfishing. I went out with a catfish guide, and that man worked hard. This was 20 years ago in Lake Levon. A gentleman by the name of Jerry Hancock, he actually moved from catfish guiding to crappie guiding on Lake Levon. Now he's on Lake Fork. Don't know if he guides there or not, but he and his long-time crappie fishing partner won a nice crappie tournament with a big boat and everything as a prize. It was a good one. So proud to say I knew Jerry Hancock back in the day. Still kind of know him today, but I haven't seen him in 20 years. He is literally what you'd call a good old boy. Why does it sound like somebody talking in a house? Well, because this is all fake. So those rods are not there. The chair under me is not here. I'm not even here. Because right there is a bridge that has a bunch of cars and trucks and stuff going over it. It's called I-55. Hey, Colton Dobson. Hey, always Zane. Well, thank you, Jaden. I'm glad you liked the audio. So I do have the noise cancellation or whatever it's called. I'm using the DJI mic minis. And I'll tell you, like, oh, look, barge. Way over there. I don't know if I'm going to get a barge bite from that far away. So what's kind of happening here, folks, lay of the land. You go out, you can see the current seam out there. And you know what? Before I say any of that, because everybody, when I started watching the river fishing guys, they'd talk about the current seam. And I'm like, what the bleepy, bleepy, bleepy is a current seam? So give me just a second here. I'm going to stick my finger up. It's going to take a minute to register. So you see, let's see, I got to come up a little bit. You see where we have the moving water that comes kind of to slack water? That's the current seam. So you got, the river runs about 6 miles an hour down here. There is, everything's reversed. So this is my left, even though it doesn't. So I've got a piling here. I've got another piling. And then past that, I've got a rock dam. I don't know if it's considered a wing dam or not, but it goes out. Its purpose is to slow the water down here on the edge and keep all the current out there. So I've got current coming down. Every now and then you can see a piece of debris go by. We've got a log coming down now. You'll see it in a minute. And then you've got the slack water, and then you've got an eddy here. So that's where the water is supposed to be going this way, but it actually comes back this way because it comes back behind all that wing dam and stuff. So that's kind of lay of the land. Looks like I still got 67 people in here. God bless you folks. I appreciate y'all being here. The good old green screen. Yeah, so Florida Weed Man. See, like, this is not me. This is not a hat. This over here that you can't see is not a fan keeping the camera warm, cool, rather, so it doesn't overheat. One of the best things you can do. So West Memphis and Memphis is dangerous as they say it is. Yes and no. So West Memphis, there are parts of it that are not what I would consider safe. Other areas, not so bad. You get over into Memphis. So let me explain something to you. If you ever watch any of the cop chases from Arkansas State Police, you don't run from the Arkansas State Police. You run from the Arkansas State Police, they pitch your butt, and you may end up dead. And nobody sheds a tear. Because you run from the cops, you get what you get. Now, as soon as you cross that state line, the Memphis police have been told by the city council that they have a no chase policy. They can chase for 1 minute. And they have to get approval from a supervisor to continue the chase. And if it's not a felony that they're chasing, they don't get to chase anymore. So the criminals have figured this out. They all run around with fake tags because all they have to do is run from the cops. The cop goes, hey, that's a fake tag. Last year, we lost 100,000 vehicle registrations. Out of like 700,000, went down to like 600,000, okay? In the county. It's because people realize you don't have to have tags. So you got the law-abiding citizens who do get pulled over by police every now and then when they do a special, we believe it's important to catch speeders, so they catch the people doing 65 and a 60, not the people doing 120, because they know if they chase them, it ain't going to matter anyway because they can't actually chase them. Memphis, I try to stay out of the city. I live in one of the suburbs, one of the municipalities. The municipalities have their own school systems, which are rated far better than Memphis public schools, which Memphis Shelby County public schools, because Memphis city schools were so bad, Shelby County had to take them over or merge with them or whatever you want to call it. And I hate, like, when you read Reddit and stuff, they're like, well, just keep your head on a swivel. I don't know how many people you know who have swivel heads or swivel necks. That is one of the dumbest phrases I've ever heard. That and something slaps. I saw a rod company use it yesterday in an ad, and one of their Facebook ads. The rod slaps. I'm like, is that good or bad? Anyway, cars get broken into a lot. The Kia boys had a field day in Memphis. Because again, and what they would do is they would steal the cars. And Kias are not owned by people that have a lot of money, right? I specifically knew a single mother. Her Kia was stolen. Before she even knew it was stolen in the middle of the night, the police had found it in the middle of the 4-lane road, 2-lane each direction. They had wrecked it out. And that's what they do. They'd steal them and they'd go wreck them because it's fun. Yeah. They've settled down a little bit. But yeah, like last week, I think we had a murder each day in the city of Memphis. Depends on the area, but even the quote good areas aren't immune to the property crime, and that's the thing. I mean, we've had people actually hijack semis down here. Nike has a warehouse down here. They've been known to just get trailer loads of shit stolen out of there. A lot of it's property crime, breaking windows, looking for guns. To the point, I mean, they will leave laptops in cars. They will even leave money behind. They're looking for guns, and they're also looking for money. If they find anything good, they'll take it. But you know, they're not gonna go after the change. So they break your window. They crawl in through the window because they know if they open the door, that could set off the alarm. So these little skinny ass punks break your window, dive in, dig through all your crap. Don't take the computers and anything like that. They're after guns and money. There you go. Your ex-wife was a chicken head. I don't know what that means. Face full of pecker? I don't know. Let's see. So most places you'll be fine. I don't even know if I'd say most places. Because, I mean, East Memphis used to be kind of immune to this. But somebody had one of those nice Mercedes something wagons, what they're called. And he got carjacked out there. There's a lot of carjackings going on. There's a lot. Memphis is its own worst enemy. I can't stand Reddit in this area because, well, Reddit's liberal to begin with. Just a fact. Very left-leaning. But all the people talk about is how it's because of generational poverty and lack of wealth distribution. And so that's why everybody is stealing stuff, because of shit that happened generations ago, which is bullshit. I have zero generational wealth. I was poor growing up. I managed to make my way through life. Stay out of jail most of the time. Things like that. But people are so busy making excuses for the criminal behavior, and it's not their fault. They're just trying to make ends meet. You're not trying to make ends meet by stealing a car every day. That's not trying to make ends meet. Don't tell me that they're doing it for food. If you want to steal food, it's still a crime, but I'll have a little bit of sympathy. Not if you're out there getting steaks that I won't buy because I'm too cheap and you're stealing them. But anyway, my biggest catfish is like 26 pounds. Caught it 20 years ago on Lake Levon. Misty, I'm ranting about life in general. I'm what you call an old man. If there were clouds, I'd be yelling at them. See, you fish ton in Indiana. That is awesome, Colton. Check out Bank Fishing Adventures. He's somewhere in Indiana. I realize Indiana is a big state. And then there's Indiana Chris. He also, strange enough, in Indiana. I had family up in Marion, but they've all passed away, which is about an hour and a half outside, northeast of Indianapolis. That's my claim to fame for Indiana. So, I don't know. The problem is conservatives have a fix for crime, and that is to put people in jail, throw them under the jail, and be done with them. And liberals are like, but no, we want to rehabilitate and make them better and give them opportunities and all this kind of. Look, you had opportunities until you screwed up. I don't want to sound heartless, but I'm kind of. Let me check, see. Getting a whole bunch of. Oh, well, that's me leaving. Fish was stealing. Thought I was getting more messages than I was. Well, there's that. So, here's the thing. If you're a professional, if you have a job, you have a career, and you get in trouble with the law, and you get convicted, there's a good chance you're going to lose your job, and an even much better chance that if you don't lose your job, that nobody else is going to hire you, so you're stuck at that company who will put up with you for at least 10 years. So you got to be careful out there. And when you start off behind the 8-ball, getting in gangs and stuff, I get it. But you turn 18 and everything's wiped clean. But you've got to take advantage of that. You've got to. Because if you keep going, keep doing the same thing you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you always got. And that is more trouble. And then you're stuck mowing lawns, working construction, any of the trades that will hire you with a record. Spread the gospel. Have I caught anything yet? I've caught an attitude and I caught a troll, but that's it. I'm what you call a lazy fisherman. I like to sit out here and watch the flagpoles. If I put flags on them, they'd probably be more fun. Hey, Pontchartrain. I don't know where that is, but my fiance is from down in Houma, or lived in Houma at one point. So Wolfpack, the problem is, there is a generational aspect to it. And so I grew up in a small town. Neighbor down the road, they were farmers. It was grandparents raising their grandkids because their own kids didn't want to raise their kids. And so the grandkids kind of fell into the same, everybody, there's a point where you want better for your kids, right? But then there's some areas, I think there's some cultures, and I hate to use the word culture because it sounds a certain way, but of people that they just want their kids to do what they've always done, even if it didn't work. And I mean, my neighbors, they were salt of the earth. Don't get me wrong. Do anything for you. But broke is broke is broke. And the grandkids didn't really learn any skills from them to help them through life. You know, I want better for my kids than I have for myself. I want to leave them something when it's all over with so that they get a head start. Or if not them, then their kids. So that they could start out at a better place than I did. And I don't want to make it sound like I have the answer. I Forrest Gumped myself into a career. Computers came naturally to me. I avoided. My teachers in high school were like, you should go into computers. No, I like computers. Everybody hates their job. I don't want my job being computers. So I avoided it, and I literally Forrest Gumped myself back into IT by accident. Wendell, I'll be happy to show you my fish. There they are, all in one hand. I have none. Texas River Boy running, climbing through mud and sticks for the big cats. Well, see, that's another downside to Memphis. All of the city parks in the city of Memphis, every damn one of them, is no fishing unless otherwise posted. And they are not otherwise posted. They took the Raleigh Springs Mall land, and they built a library and a police station and a big lake. They don't let people fish there. So anybody in Memphis who wants to fish can either fish the polluted Mississippi River, where you are told not to eat anything out of because, well, it's the Mississippi River. And you can go to the Wolf River, which is equally nasty. You can go to the Nonconnah River, which is even more nasty. Or you can go out to the suburbs. So that means you got to have a car. So teaching your kids how to fish, kids going fishing after school, that's not a thing in the city of Memphis. Because the city of Memphis City Council has decided that, screw it. You guys like metal detectors? The guy right there in Arkansas, Conch, okay? Okay, I haven't heard of him. The only metal detected people I've seen, we had Hot Mess Fishing, who started dating the guy that did the metal detecting, and she started doing a lot of metal detecting. And now she mostly does metal detecting, so there's that. Home is right across the river. There you go. Big Mike has caught my attention. That's, I don't know. Kids need to put the phone down and go live life. Well, yeah, but man, I remember. So I grew up on a farm. Unfortunately, I had a pond there, and the neighbors had a pond, and another neighbor had a pond. So I always had a place to fish. And I'll tell you, maybe my memory is a little shot from being old, but I'll tell you, I fished damn near every day growing up. I can't tell you how many Zebco 202s and 404s I wore out. I didn't have enough money to get a 33. And Wolfpack, I got lucky. Not only did I Forrest Gump myself into IT, I don't have a degree. I got in back when it was the Wild West, back when NetWare was still a thing. Now this is interesting to me. I'm going to kind of point to it. The water's doing something funny there. It almost looks like a bunch of bait fish popping, but it's not, that I can tell. I think it's just the way the water's rolling around. But it's interesting. Only seen one or two actual boats today. As I think everybody knows, holiday weekends are amateur hour for new boaters. And they want to practice on holiday weekends, because that's the best time to mess things up, apparently. Hey, want to be outdoors? Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you, my friend. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Kids like ambition, doing nothing, living with their parents at 35, got a 20-year-old and a 21. You know, we're going through that with Ashley's kids. Her oldest is about to turn 18. He's got his permit finally. But man, I'm telling you, when I turned 16, when I turned 15, I had my permit. 16, I was dragging my mother down to the driver's license office to get me a driver's license. And I remember it was kind of comical. I was a pretty decent kid, pretty good kid. I'd go, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to leave." She's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I don't know when I get there." Of course, it was a small town. Everybody knew everybody. So if I got in any trouble, she's going to hear it on the phone. And, that was back in the days when you could cruise town and stuff, and that's mostly what you did until you ran out of money for gas and you parked at the bank, chatted, and maybe bummed a beer or two off somebody. White Mountain wine coolers, we won't go there. And, but yeah, my generation was 18, and here's a foot in your butt. You out the door. Actually, my birthday's earlier in the year. So I turned 18 while I was in high school. And I was set to go to Memphis State. Had a scholarship, all that good stuff. So between school getting out in May and August when I'd actually go to college, my mother got a job down here in Memphis. And she moved everything short of the television. And I don't know if I was sleeping on the floor or what, but everything I had to come to Memphis with had to fit in my car. And I lived in that apartment for 2 months. She paid the rent until college started. And I moved out, gave her the TV when it got to Memphis, because it was her TV. Moved into the dorm. So my mother's life events kind of contributed to there's no place, there is no home right now. And I did move back in with her and the husband that she was married to for a while there when I was about 21. But I paid rent and, stuff. Working at FedEx overnight. And Tennessee passed the lottery umpteen years ago. And the way that they got it through, because we are a heavily Republican state who hates gambling, we have no casinos. Probably will never get them. But they passed the lottery under the guise that the money would go to education. And the problem with lotteries that do that is they go, okay, so what we're going to do, we got education spending is right here. So we are going to collect money from the lottery, and the lottery is going to augment education. So what it does is it gets that number back up, and then they drop this number. So they take the money from education and put it elsewhere. What Tennessee did is the money from the lottery actually goes to college. If you graduate with a reasonable, and their definition of reasonable is a little different than mine, a little lower than mine, GPA, you have to do X number of hours of community service, like 10 or 20, I don't know, nothing ridiculous. They will pay for your first 2 years of college. Community college, whatever. So everyone in the state of Tennessee that applies himself at all can get 2 years of free college. So when I talk about how, People need to be responsible for themselves and stuff. I mean, the government is here trying. Granted, the lottery is a tax on people who are bad at math. We're not going to go there. It is what it is. But they put that money towards community college education. So everybody has the ability to get an associate's. Let's see, where was I running my pie hole at? Sad they're missing out. Yep. Thanks for subbing. Appreciate you, Wolfpack. Jaden, you've hit so many rivers. Yeah, see, I wish there were more fishing areas around here. So we have the Sand Aquifer. That is where we get our water from. Sand Aquifer runs from north of Memphis somewhere down into Louisiana, almost to middle or lower of Louisiana. So it covers a big area. It is naturally purified water through going through all the layers of sand and stuff. And we've got this gigantic natural tank of water down there with which to get our drinking water from. Like the Dallas area, they had to build reservoirs for drinking water. So Lake Lavon, Lake Ray Hubbard, Lake Ray Roberts, Lake Louisville, those are all for water, for drinking water. Purification, all that good stuff. It's treated. That's their drinking water. So you had a lot of places to fish. There are park ponds here, and there are not that many of those. But a lot of the larger lakes have been bought by developers, and all the way around it is houses, and there is no public access. I can tell you how much they can kiss my ass, but anyway. Yeah, a lot of people eat fish from Mississippi. So north of Meeman Shelby Park, which is about 20 miles north of here, down to the Mississippi border is where they say you're not supposed to eat the fish. Anyway. I don't know who said they were selling crawfish, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, Chester Frost, as far as I know, isn't bad. I mean, there may be a small advisory, but there's a big advisory down here. Louisiana has a lot of crawfish farms. It's really neat. They have a bunch of rice paddies, and when it's not rice season, they got crawfish in there. And they grow, and they sell them, and yeah, there you go. I don't know that a lot of people buy gators. Most of the meat that you're going to use off a gator, and maybe all of it, is going to be from the tail. And like, there's some restaurants that'll do it, but it's not really something you go buy. Hey, Gigability, good to see you. Good to see you. I mean, let's see, it was Fusion, yeah, the one talking about Louisiana. So the Mississippi River runs down, and there's a channel by the name of Creole Catfish. They also have a guide service. I can't tell you exactly where they are, but if you follow the Mississippi down to where it almost meets the Atchafalaya, where the Red River turns into the Atchafalaya River. So, as I remember it, the Mississippi comes down, a part of the water is diverted over and then down the Atchafalaya, so it rides the Atchafalaya down to the Gulf, and I want to say it's like a 70-30 split, stays in Mississippi and 30 goes. Anyway, they fish that area. If you want a guide service, I would definitely look them up. Last place you can make a living off the land legally with a state rob in your pocket. Wolfpack, now this is I have a bone to pick with Louisiana. If you want to fish from out of state Louisiana, they're going to charge you through the wazoo. You can't get just a saltwater license, if I remember correctly. You have to get the freshwater and the saltwater. It's like $150 for out of staters. And then they'll add other stuff on there, I think, too. Like if you want to, I don't know if the crabs allowed on that or not. Anyway, it's so bad that Florida and Alabama, or at least Alabama, I think Florida does too, It has, non-resident, resident fees, non-resident fees, and people from Louisiana fees, which are higher than non-resident because they're like, Louisiana going to screw us, we're going to screw them. I think it's funny. NJ, Fishing Maniac. I'm a professional fisherman, also known as a starving artist. So it's a piece of driftwood coming down the Mississippi. I don't know if y'all can see it yet, but just see it soon. You can see how fast this water flows. Like I say, it's about 6 miles an hour last time I got over there. If they ain't biting here, tad hung over, I can understand that. What rods do I suggest for flatheads? Nick M., that is a question. Reading chat or talking in the air? Well, Mark, yes. Let's see, I do ramble. He'll get to us, that's true. That is true. Talking to the bridges, that's true too. I do like to hear myself talk. Your water smells like eggs. That is not a good sign, sir. See a doctor, Gig. Yeah, there you go. Duffy's down here by me. He buys all the gators, sells them. Fancy leather buyers for the skin, sell the meat, but most of it to eat. About $300 for one over 10 feet. Yeah, I used to watch the Swamp People. I really liked, I don't remember his name. I'm trying to remember it. The guy that never wore a shirt, wore overalls all the time. Bruce, I always liked him. I thought he seemed like good people. Texas is for brackish water, fresh salt, best of all worlds. Jaden, Lake Texoma is amazing. I used to go up there, fish for stripers and catfish. And it's the only, at least at the time, because things have changed because we got stripers in Mississippi. But at the time, they kept saying it was the only freshwater lake that was brackish enough to sustain naturally reproducing stripers. So there you go. Bang Rio, I don't know what that means, so there's that. Have not got anything yet, folks, but if you stick around, that's probably still one. Now, where was I going to? Oh, yes. Wolfpack says he liked the big cat fever rods. So, Nick, you ask a good question. I'm going to give you a long, drawn-out answer. So I have some Uncle Lou rods. Those are my orange ones. They're not here, as you could probably tell by the fact that they aren't here. The ones without the multicolored handles on them, grips, the shorter two, those are anvil rods. When I put them next to an Uncle Lou's rod, the guides are about the same place. All of your catfish specific rods from some of these smaller companies like Uncle Lou's rods, Big Cat Fever, which is not really that small, Mad Cats, Anvil, and a host of others. They're all going to have strong, durable stainless steel guides. They're all going to have aluminum reel seats with a double locking ring. A lot of them are going to be an S-glass composite blank. So E-glass is what normal fiberglass is. Then you got S-glass, which is thinner and lighter weight for the same strength. So a lot of people went to S-glass. I think Seeker brand blanks back 20 plus years ago were the ones that came out with S-glass, but people have copied it. So they give you a lot of durability, a lot of strength, and they're not as brittle, or brittle at all really, as like you could get with your graphite. So with graphite rods, they're going to be lighter, they're going to be thinner, but the more graphite that's in the rod, more graphite fibers and such, the more brittle it is. So it gives it strength, but it does not bend, do that parabolic bend and stuff. So you can spend any amount of money you want to spend on rods. So what I'm going to tell you, I'm not affiliated with anybody. I will tell you, I like Uncle Lou. I like his rods. I like how active he has been in the catfish community for years. He has, back when a lot of the channels were starting out, they wanted to do, I hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to do a giveaway. Hey, Uncle Lou, I'm looking for people to donate stuff. Uncle Lou would donate a rod. So they'd do a drawing for a rod. Uncle Lou would have to send a rod free of charge, pay the shipping, the whole 9 yards, for someone else's giveaway. And Uncle Lou did that. It's not his day job. He doesn't want it to be his day job. It's his hobby, he says. So he came out with the first that I know of high visibility, bright ass orange rod. And I was not a fan of the color when I first saw it. But boy, when you see them on camera, live stream, those things show up. At night, you put a black light on them, oh my God. The same holds true with these Anvils because they're also have the fluorescent paint. They're a newer company. I think they're newer. Big Cat Fever rods, from what I've been told, I do not own one. I'm talking out of my earlobes here. What I have heard is like their medium heavy is more like a medium in other people's rods. I bought these Anvil rods because they were on clearance for $50 a pop. Of course, you had to pay shipping, which is like $25 probably. So I bought 4 of them to, make it cheaper. These FibLink rods, these are on Amazon. They are not the same quality. They do have stainless steel double-footed guides. They have what looks like Mad Cat handles on them. They got the aluminum reel seat. These are 2-piece. I wanted 2-piece rods because I got a pickup truck with a 5.5 foot bed. Diagonally, I could fit a 7-foot rod down in the bed. 7.6 doesn't quite fit. So I wanted some 2-piece rods. So if you got these off Amazon, they're about $50 each. But if you look at the tip, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total. So 8 plus the tip. Guides. It's Anvil and the Uncle Lou's, so I put them side by side, have 10 plus the tip on a foot shorter rod. So what happens here, I'll try to demonstrate. So, when you're reeling with the eyes up. You get down far enough, like right here, my line is touching the blank. Not the worst thing that can happen, but especially if you're using braid, that's going to give you some abrasion there. And they do have, it's not the blank itself that you're rubbing up against. You're rubbing against the coating that's on there. Anyway, it can be a wear point. Whatever. And I think Anvil still has these first generation. Those are the first generation rods. And they still have them on sale. They're a little bit more. But when I got them, the only thing they had left was the extra heavy. And I was like, well, for the Mississippi River, that might not be a bad thing. I will probably be hung on this, and I am. I figured I was. There's rocks over there. Come on, baby. Come on. Grab my bait knife handle. I'm gonna wrap the mono, woo, if I don't fall over, around the handle on my bait knife. Do that 4 times. Because this is a 40-pound mono, and I'm a weakling. And this way I can use this to pull my line so that it doesn't keep pulling drag. The goal here is to break off something. Come on, baby. Come on. There we go. Whew. And how much of my rig did I lose? Sounds like all of it. No, not all of it. May have just lost the sinker. We're going to find out, though. And I got hung up again. Guys, dog it. Got some. That pulled something free. I got movement. Not completely free yet. Now it's free. And finally ended up. Nope. Okay, so this was a 3-way rig. And it worked exactly as it was supposed to. I got my hook back. So using 40-pound main line, 80-pound on my hook, and this was probably 30-pound to the sinker. As you tell, sinker has, but it's gone to better places. But it didn't lose my hook, didn't lose my three-way swivel, all that fun stuff. I don't think I've got any mono left in there, in my little bucket. I took it all out. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the three-way rig because, yeah, I can tie one more sinker on there. Just remember, it's not nice to laugh at old men who are not flexible. So this is a 4-ounce no-roll sinker that Travis from No BS Catfishing made for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just line it on here like this and try to make a, there we go, surgeon's loop out of it, just so I can get the sinker attached properly. So I was able to do that. Now this one originally had on that salted Asian carp, and I realized salted Asian carp isn't the best choice, but it was going to be the easiest thing to put out when I first got here, so that's why I did it. Let me figure out what I've done here that's stupid. Let me get my rig straightened up a little bit. Of course, as I try to do that, got sweat pouring in my eyeballs. Okay, so there we go. So this is not ideal. Give me a second, let me wipe the sweat off my eyebrows, off my eyeballs. Okay, so this is not ideal because you typically want your sinker leader about twice as long as your hook leader, but oh well. And since I got the back end of a skipjack, we will put that on there. And hang out for a second. I'll figure out what to do with my bait knife, which is probably in my pocket, because where else would you want to stick a sharp object? Exactly where the hell it is, right in my pocket. Never said I was bright, folks. And now I'll just go ahead and cut the end of the tail off of this and go whee. Now that sound of whee is patented. Y'all can't use that. Copyrighted, trademark, all that good stuff. So if ever hear any of you say whee, coming at you. Okay. So I'm going to try to put this one kind of straight out, which means I'll cross some other line. That's okay. All right. Get my rods in right order here. And I already messed that up. Because a 4-ounce sinker ain't holding bottom. At least wasn't where I cast it to. So now they're back in the right order. Come over and take a gander and chat here. I am gonna slide into the shade. Nothing personal. I mean, it really is, but don't tell anybody. Now go ahead and slide the camera into the shade too. I do have a fan blowing on it, but we don't want the camera overheating. And then this is my fan. And in case you're wondering what that sound you hear is, sounds like a grown man screaming, saying things like idiot. That is Rustic going, fool, you just move further away from your rods. And I already told you, if you get a good bite, those rods lock down, that cart's gonna go for a pull. He ain't wrong. I did kind of give it a little bit of a tug to see how it's gonna take a little bit of pressure to get that thing out there moving. So I'm hoping I'm fast enough. And if I'm not, let's be honest, I have too much fishing crap already. But I'll still buy more because why not? Okay, where are we at? Let me scroll back up. The bells on my rods. Well, no, that's cheating. I mean, I don't have them now. I do have bells, I just don't have them on there. I'm depending on you guys to watch. Oh, let me. Yeah, okay. I had to check the video, make sure that you're seeing what I want you to be seeing. And let me back out of this, close it up, reopen it. That is not a snake laying there, folks. That's a rod sock. I just looked at it like, oh, okay. Let's see, where was I? Come back here. Okay. Kai saying no, probably still won't. Yep, that sounds like me, but gigability. Hey, want to be outdoors, Matt? Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Bang Rio, in search of man. I don't know what any of that means. It's language I don't understand. Of course, hipster is a language I don't understand, so there's that. Fishing is so relaxing, a man can really think. Orlando, yeah, if I didn't have trains overhead here, you can't see where I'm pointing to. The bridge you can see, that is I-55, so you got cars, trucks, semis, all that kind of stuff going over. And then to the left of that, I've got a railroad bridge, and then to the left of that is another, I believe, railroad bridge, possibly also a footbridge. I'm too fat, I don't walk that far. I don't know. There's a footbridge. It may be up by I-40, it may be down here, I don't know. Anyway, where we at? Tomahawk FD, how you doing? How you doing? Let's see. Basically all the same rods. You know, yes and no. So when Big Cat Fever first started pushing their rods, they did a promotion, and I think it's still on, that if you catch a state record catfish on their rod, possibly while wearing one of their items of clothing, I forget, you get $10,000. Now, I'm not going to tell you that state records don't get caught. They do. Micah Burkhart broke, I think it was a Tennessee state record twice, like within a week of each other. I believe had a new state record since in the last few years. It does happen. But let's be honest with each other here. The chance of you or me, I'm going to go with you because my chances are much less, catching a state record is incredibly slim. So the amount of money that they are making by selling rods and the markup in them and that kind of stuff far offsets the money they've had to pay out. Mad Cats came along. Now, I don't own any Mad Cats rods, and up until they came out with the the advertisement that said slaps, I had nothing against it. I still don't really have anything against it. I really am surprised at how well Mad Catz has done. And it's not because of the quality of their rods. I have nothing against their rods. I've never used one, but I have nothing against them. But they have so many colors. And so when you got to stock that many SKUs, it puts a lot of capital invested. So somewhere somebody has pockets to make that happen. And they have different length rods. They sell 14 footers. I know Big Mike, Fishing with Big Mike over in East Tennessee, uses the 14 footers. They had the original, but then they've got NJ Fishing Maniac uses the 7.5 foot Orange Crush. They've got an autistic, I forget what it's called, autism awareness rod. They've got just a multitude of colors, just a plethora. Some might even call it a plethora, but whatever. Plethora of rod colors. And there's just a lot of stock that they have to have. And I think they're sold in a few stores, not in, like tackle shops, but they're not sold in any of the big mass market. Big Cat Fever is in some of those. B&M rods are in some of the big retailers. And I mean, I gotta say like Walmart, but, and I don't even know if they're in Bass Pro, but like Crappie, again, Grizzly Jig Company up in Carruthersville, Missouri. They have both brands in stock, and then and some others. Big Cat Fever, like I said, they did their promo. Mad Catz came out with I think it's a weekly big fish. I think it's the top 3 big fish, if I remember correctly. You have to put the right code in. When you take a picture of your fish, you have to be wearing Mad Catz gear, show a Mad Catz rod, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, marketing stuff, right? Anyway, let's see. For trot line, sit in the house, knowing 200 degrees, and check them after dark. Well, see, now it depends if you're fishing for meat or not, right? If you're fishing for meat, trot lines are hard to bait. They really are. I like jug fishing more than trot lines. Trot lines, you can get into a world of hurt really quick. Because your trot line is secured on both ends. You can pull up a hook, and if you get hit by your own hook, you better have a knife handy to cut off that leader, because if there's current or whatever, that the hook is holding you. I like jug lines. I think they're a little more fun and more sporting, and that's not fair to say something's more sporting than not. I'm sitting here with 4 rods in the water, just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. There's not a lot of sport going on in what I'm doing. I'm just being lazy with rods in the water. So, but jugs are really cool because, if one gets hit, you chase it around, and, have a little fun with it. But again, putting meat in the fridge, it's hard to beat a trot line. You ain't wrong. Yeah, see, I wish I could pick Uncle Lou's brain, but Uncle Lou is probably smart enough not to tell me enough, because he knows I'm a sponge for knowledge, and I tend to forget what's confidential and what's not. I like to share knowledge, right? I asked Uncle Lou, I was looking at coming out with a surf rod, or at least, dipping my toes in the water. And I asked Uncle Lou for advice, and he gave me supplier name, information, lots of stuff. He was real helpful. And I told him up front I was not looking to compete with his catfish rods, but I really liked them, and he was not going to make a surf rod. So anyway, I ended up doing the math, and I wasn't going to make enough money for it to be worth my laziness getting involved. But Uncle Lou has helped a lot of people, and I would not be surprised if a lot of people, some people, have not taken advantage of Uncle Lou. I know a lot of YouTube channels that, used to hit him up for freebies all the time. Something newer and shinier came out, and Uncle who? And I think that's disgusting. Because, man, they had their hands out wide. And a lot of other people have been inspired, for lack of a better word, by Uncle Lou, to come out with their own rods. because of Uncle Lou's, I'll call it success. I think it was successful. I don't know what his thoughts on it are. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But he came out with what I considered to be something different. And whether he was the first with that bright orange glow in the dark rod, I don't know. The glow in the dark tips were not new. I've seen them before, many years ago. You know, guides are not new. Aluminum reel seats are not new. More the combination, the EVA foam, and the price point, because he was not looking to put his entire family through college on one rod. I respected him for that. He doesn't have a storefront. You want to buy him from him, you can look up Uncle Lou on Facebook and contact him through Facebook Messenger. That's how you get a hold of Uncle Lou. He just, as best I can understand, doesn't want to be a big name, a big brand. He came out with those, what everybody calls Versa rattles now. I came up with. He found them, he brought them over, and he's the first person I saw selling them. Doesn't mean he was the first to get them, but first I saw. He had hooks up for a while. He was doing different kind of tackle, and he scaled back down to doing just rods again. I don't know the who's or the what's or the what's it. I would assume it just became too much of a hassle for not enough money. I absolutely understand and appreciate that. Anyway, to get back to this. Of course, I still got bait. PVA hook. PVA hook. PVA. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's funny. Dorian White, hello from Milton, Florida. Now, Milton, if I remember, and I'm probably wrong, is in the Panhandle, but not right on the water. I think it's up about an hour from somebody else. I think was from Milton, but I may be completely wrong because there's more than one city in Florida. I do fish in the Pensacola area 2 or 3 times a year. Love fishing down there. Mostly did the dock fishing. I am going to live stream surf fishing next time I'm down there. Yada, yada, yada. I like it. Catching a lightning strike. Yeah. I mean, I know I can't fish. I am the John Parker of the Mid-South. I talk a lot and catch very little. Jedi's Fishing. How you doing, my friend? And that's West Central Florida for anybody wondering. Well, oh, yeah, Dorian says it's in the Florida Panhandle. West Central Florida, I don't know where that is. Oh, Tarpon Springs. Oh, yeah, I know where that is. That's near Tampa Bay, if I remember correctly. West Central, West. Yep, I think I got that right. Good morning, Emmy and Ga, or Ernie and Ga, excuse me. Hey, Pokey, it's Caden Fire Gamer. Now, let me tell you, we were talking about, growing up poor and everything. Caden, I don't know what his parents do for a living, or if they just can't tell him no. But that old boy, if you want to see some equipment, new equipment all the dead time, Caden Fire Gamer is your man, or young man. He got one of everything and 2 of some things. He's always buying new stuff. Now, it may sound like I'm jealous because I am jealous. But I have I don't hold it against it. I'm just saying I wish I grew up that way. That's all I'm saying. That's all I say. I'll say. Wolfpack talks about the Louisiana Opelousas record by 4 ounces almost 30 years ago. Opelousas is also known as the Flathead, or the Yellow Cat, or something else. Uh-oh. The closest rod to me, the big tall one, the line jumped and it went back down. So, in effect, not much happened. But the line moved. And that, to me, is worth celebrating. There we go. Broken it a couple of times, but it doesn't matter on trot lines. That's up to you, my friend. Pull that hook out, put a different one in there, and put it on a big cat feeder rod, throw it out there, reel that mofo in. Not that I would ever condone cheating or lying and cheating. But whatever. Here we go. Caddyshack fishing movie. We can make it trot line, you trot line and sell most of them. Okay. So, Wolfpack, I ain't your mama, I ain't your daddy, but I'm gonna pretend like I am for a second. And I'm gonna say this, and I mean it in the nicest possible way, and that is that Ashley just texted me, and you don't care about that. I do. I have a chair for you. I didn't. Did it bring your rod? I have indeed. She's probably watching the stream. I don't know why I'm texting her. She's a good old girl. More water. I've actually got 5 or 6 in the cooler, baby. There we go. Sorry. She comes first. I don't care. Let's see. So all I would ask is be careful with the big ones. They are our breeders. They are the future generation. I believe the children are our future. Yeah, whatever. Now, on the other hand, you catch them legally, they're yours. I can't tell you what to do with them. But there you go. That's my word for the day. Conservation is important. Now, don't get me wrong. Tennessee River catfish has been a thing in this area for decades. I don't know where they get all these Tennessee River catfish. I'm going to guess out of Tennessee River with commercial fishermen. But like, there's a restaurant called Hagee's down kind of like we're by Shiloh, not too far from Pickwick. They serve Tennessee River catfish. Again, I'm not sure which commercial fishermen they get them from, but they definitely are doing commercial catfishing in Tennessee River, and they aren't the only restaurant doing it. So there's that. How many fish do I have, Wendell? If you count backwards from 0, you'll get there real quick. Hey, morning fisherman, how you doing? Hey, catfish boy Brian Sewell, how you doing? Going to Memphis tomorrow. What are the license requirements to fish on the Mississippi? So, if you fish from land on the Tennessee side, you need a Tennessee license. If you fish from land on the Arkansas side, you need an Arkansas license. If you fish from a boat, you need a license from whichever state you launch from. So if I were in a boat with a Tennessee license, I could fish over here all the way up to the Mississippi bank. Or not Mississippi, Arkansas bank. Mississippi south here. But because I'm sitting in Arkansas on Arkansas land, I have to have an Arkansas license. Memphis is a hard place to fish the Mississippi River from unless you're bringing a boat. If you are bringing a boat or we're going out in a boat, tell me and I will shut up. Otherwise, I'll start giving you pointers. And they're not really good pointers because I haven't caught a fish all day and I never do. Well, I mean, gigability. We'll be happy to send him down to Florida and he can catch all the damn hardheads he wants and sell them, commercially sell them. Hey, yeah, baby. Let's see. Morning going to Memphis tomorrow. That's Ken. Yeah, that's Born Fisherman. Ashley, how's it looking in the back room? What? She's not in the back room. She's in the basement. I feed her a hypnol and lock her in there. Let's see. So, folks, I still have 68 people in here. I don't know why. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm going to tell you a secret. I don't know if anybody else has a mustache in here, but man, every time I go live, my mustache wants to crawl up my nose and just tickle the snot out of it. Well, maybe not the snot, but you get the idea. So Brian, tell me, are you going to be fishing out of a boat? What's the crown thing? Still wondering. Okay, so what happens here? So you get points for interacting. I think you get 25 points for liking. I think you get 25 points for saying hi. If you do one of the little gift things using jewels. That moves you up. You kind of buy your way up the process. So if you're the first one in here and you're the first one talking, you usually will get the number one crown. Now, if there's two of you, sometimes it'll go alphabetical order. So I get pushed down every now and then. Anyway, okay, so I'll get to you just a second, problem. So Brian, shore fish. Okay, Memphis sucks for shore fishing. I am under the I-55 bridge, literally on the Arkansas side. If I look across there, I can tell you I can't get to this bridge, to the bank on the other side. It's too overgrown, all that kind of fun stuff. If you go on Mud Island, you can fish what they call the Wolf River Inlet. It's not. The Wolf River actually comes in above Mud Island. Mud Island is a peninsula, so the Wolf River Inlet is nothing. It's behind the peninsula. Bass Pro Shop backs up to it. Or you can fish on the Mud Island side on the parks over there. You can go up to Meeman Shelby Forest, which is about 20 miles north of Memphis City, Memphis downtown. And there's some bank fishing by the ramp up there. But most of this land on both sides is owned by privately, and there's very little places that you can fish legally. Again, Mud Island is your big safe bet. Okay. One dial. Okay. I am going to show you the fish. Let me make sure that laptop charge ready for action. Don't know for Arkansas. I don't either. Okay. Anyway, one dial. I am standing up for this. You may have heard all those grunts because, oh man, here's all my fish. All of them. They're big. I said I was fishing. I didn't say I was catching. Big difference. And I'm just saying that because I think I'm funny. If you don't think I'm funny, it's because you have a sense of humor, and I'm sorry. A bait caster is spinning for like $150 budget, mainly for bass fishing. Okay. So BFS, which is a bait finesse system, is new. I've never tried it. New to me, I should say. 20 years ago, they didn't have it. 20 years ago, you were throwing anything over like a quarter ounce or 3/8, you were using a bait caster. You were using it under that, you'd be using a spinning reel. None of the professionals used spinning equipment unless it was really lightweight lure. Now, having said that, $150 doesn't go that far. If you're going to buy a bait caster, try to get a decent one. I don't know the price of it. The guy that I went a couple days ago and picked up the truck boxes for my truck, he showed me some equipment he had. It was a Lew's 1BB, I believe it was. Not one ball bearing, this is model number is 1BB. That thing was super smooth. Now, granted, it was brand new. I don't know how much it cost. The Shimano Corrado has been a staple in bass fishing for as long as I've known, over 20 years. When I fished with a club out of Dallas 20 years ago, most of the people said, okay, if you're going to go buy a bait caster, buy a Shimano Corrado. That was when they were $99. They ain't $99 anymore. They're closer to like $150 plus now. So that's without a reel, without a rod, so that doesn't help you. If you buy a cheap, and this has changed too, so please forgive me when I say this. It used to be cheap bait casters, you'd rather hang yourself than use them. Okay? Things have gotten better. Brands like PC Fun doesn't help you if you're coming fishing tomorrow because you have to buy those online. And I've not used any of their bait casters other than their cat fishing ones. The Chaos XS, which is a round bait caster like an Abu Garcia. The Chaos Pro, again, a round one. And the Alios 300 and 400, which are low profile, but hold a lot of line, so they're still not bass rigs. But like the Alios 300 is on sale right now for, I think, $90, 85 or 90. There's a coupon in my description, a link there. If you've never bought from PC Fun before, never signed up with them, If you click on that link, it'll take $25 off a $70 purchase. If they've already got your email address, it doesn't work. But if you haven't, you can use that. 25 off 70. If you buy something, it gives me a $25 off coupon as well. We both win. Right now, they're having a flash sale, and the Alios 300 is on that list. So if you click my link, get the little coupon, go to their main page, scroll down till you see the flash sale. That's where you'd buy it. I have not used their other bait casters. Caden Fire Gamer, if you're still in here, start speaking, boy. Caden goes through a lot of equipment, and he's more of a bass finesse guy too. He likes the bait, the bait finesse systems. He can give you some pointers that I can't because I don't bass fish much anymore. I do have a couple of Shimano Corrados. I still love them, but they're not good for catfishing. And that size 300 Alios is really too big, I think, for bass. But who cares what I think? It does have a flipping switch on it, though, which is a bass thing. Anyway, so I can't help you, is what that's the long and the short. I would tell you to go to a bait caster, but that's me. Your bait casters, so they work kind of like a winch. So you reel the same on the same plane, horizontal, vertical, whatever you would call it. As you reel, I mean, the gears interact and that kind of stuff, and the reel actually, the spool rolls backwards. But you're not switching direction like you are in the rear end of a vehicle. You know, rear end of a pickup truck, for instance, where it comes in one direction and has to turn 90 degrees to transfer the power. So a spinning reel is not as energy efficient as a bait caster. End of story. Spinning reels are much easier to cast. I'm more accurate with a bait caster. I probably get more distance with a spinning reel if I were telling the truth. I need to spend more time practicing casting for distance. Because with bass fishing, you really didn't do that. You put the boat where you needed to so that you could reach the shore. That's how it went. Anyway. And when you start slinging heavy leads like we do with catfish and stuff, then backlashes are a real thing. So the learning curve on a spinning reel is so much lower than a bait caster. Do not overfill a spinning reel spool. If you do, you'll get wind knots, and you might as well be doing a bait caster and getting backlashes. So, hope that's helped you some. And inexpensive. If you want to go spinning, I can tell you about spinning. The Shimano, what's the cheapest one? Not the Sahara, the Shimano, probably starts with an S. I got a couple of them, I've retired them in favor of other reels, but they're about a $30 reel, Sienna, S-I-E-N-N-A. There's nothing spectacular about them. They're good, they're decent enough, they're smooth enough. At the time they were $30, so maybe more now. The Daiwa Regal LT. So I use that in a size 1000 for panfish, bluegill, crappie, stuff like that. So all of the Regal LTs are going to come with a D at the end of it, like 1000D. The D is deep spool, which means it's going to hold a buttload of line. 1000 is probably a little small for bass. You probably want to go with a 2000, maybe even a 3000 size. I would have to look at line capacities to tell you any more. And then as far as rods, I'll say it out loud, and it even goes for bait casting. For bass fishing, the Mettle, M-E-T-T-L-E series at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Again, not the greatest in the world. And Academy's return policy has started to be much more strict, to the point that I actually bought rods and went to return them and they told me no. And I'm like, look, everything's still, tag is still on them. It haven't been used. I simply changed my mind, and Academy always had a good return policy, so what's the issue here? Like, well, it's a change of policy. So I pulled up the website, and it didn't say anything about it, and they finally gave me my money back. But it ticked me off. So be aware. I think consumers have done a lot to take advantage of companies, retailers, and their return policies. So, we probably all did it to ourselves. Using stuff, wrecking it, taking it back, or I don't like it anymore, so I'm going to break it and take it back. Crap like that. Anyway, let me go back here. Okay. Wouldn't be hot if you didn't wear all that black. Well, gigability. When you look like me, baby, you always going to be hot. It was clean. It was long sleeve, so it can help protect my arms. It's SPF rated. Leave me alone. Love you, mean it. What time is it now? Right now, it's 9:23 Central a.m. I remind you of a college professor. Well, that's good or bad. Ramble and don't say much. Now, that's about true. Wendell, a lot of us are from a lot of places. Most of us are from the U.S. I am down in Memphis, Tennessee. Not really home of Elvis, but where he died anyway. Down in Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to Graceland. Memphis, where you come for the music and the culture and you stay because they stole your damn car. The name of the food that I'm fishing with. So I've got skipjack on 3 of the rods and salted Asian carp parts on one of the rods. So there you go. Everybody says that skipjack is catfish candy. It's amazing how many fish eat candy. Something's walleye candy, something's bluegill candy, something's this candy, something's that candy. No wonder they all fat. Anyway, there you go. Scotty, I know I said hi to you 12 times. Hi! Hey, catfishing boy, what bait do I use? I just went through that. I hope that was helpful. Has dude caught anything? Justin, in my lifetime, yes. Today, no. 2 days ago, no. I can catch a better skunk than anybody you know. There you go. 6 hours behind, yeah. Salted, preserved, big head carp, yep. So Asian carp are a bad problem in the Mississippi River system and also in the Tennessee River system. You catch them by snagging them with a weighted hook. And when you do, they fight like a snagged fish, for one. And, a lot of them are 15, 20 pounds plus. So, store-bought, you shut up, Gigability. I caught them Asian carp and the skipjack all by my lonesome. Shimano's are good, yeah, but Shimano, like every other company, has weakened their name by expanding their portfolio because they want those less expensive, budget-minded customers too. So the Sienna, not the world's greatest reel, it's a plastic reel. The bail will close if you cast with the handle in the right position because the inertia from casting forward will make the handle turn and it'll hit the little flicky, the little wedge under there and close the bail. I do have a video on my channel how to fix spinning reels so they don't do that, which basically means you have to close the bail by hand, which you're supposed to do anyway, and it just takes the part out that automatically closes it. So there you go. 6,000 pin Sur Blaster for beach fishing. So I don't know what that is. Is that a spinning or a bait caster? My spinning stuff is pin. I've got everything. The Pursuit, I've got a Fierce. Got a few Spin Fisher 6,500, a Spin Fisher 4,500 or two. I got them on sale. The first batch I got as combos for like $140, and then they went on sale for $100. I had to buy some more. You know how that goes. Leave me alone. So, you saltwater boys are some real biatches. Y'all are like grown men sitting and arguing about Ford, Chevy, or Dodge. Mine's a Nissan. Neener. Last year, the Titan, last naturally aspirated V8. No stupid selective cylinder shut off and turn off at stoplights and shit like that. No turbocharger. 5.8 or 9 liter holds 6.5 quarts of oil. Yeah, they don't make them anymore. That's why I bought one. Anyway, you got people that love Penn. So Penn, from what I understand, I'm parroting information, so use it as you want. Shimano and Daiwa both make a smoother saltwater reel. Now mine are smooth, perfectly smooth to me. But you know, they talk about buttery smooth. Look, I don't fish in butter. That's first thing. Penn apparently can get a little gritty over the years. You know what you do? You think you clean your reel and shit. Now, Penn in some of their more expensive reels, like the Spin Fisher and especially the next one up. Can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it's another one that starts with an S. They have seals in them. Honest to goodness, physical seals. Daiwa uses what they call mag seal grease. Apparently it's a magnetic grease of some sort, so it sticks to the bearings longer and all this. But you can't buy the grease. And if it's magnetic and it sticks to stuff that's metal, then you also can't clean that out. So when it gets old and crusty, years down the road, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you service it. You can't buy the grease, so you can't put the same stuff back in. Typically, most people are going to want to oil their bearings and grease the gears. So gears get grease, everything else gets oil. Shimano has some type of, I think they got a special grease too. I'm not sure. Shimano is not cheap in the saltwater. Shimano's not cheap. Let's be honest. So the Daiwa BG is like the workhorse $100-ish reel. Everybody seems to love the Daiwa BG. They have more expensive ones. Penn, you can start out fairly low price. I got some. No, you can't get them right now. Penn Pursuit 4,000 combos for like $40 a piece. When I do find good deals, and I mean good deals, I post them on my channel. I don't post crappy deals. If it's 5-10% off, I ain't gonna bother you. If it's 40-50% off, we're gonna be talking. So I don't have any special insight as to when they end. When they end, they end. Like the PC Fun flash sale that's going on right now is a good price on the Alios 300 and 400. I did post a short about that. Anyway. Yeah, you don't just throw them away. Wait, you don't. You don't. You just throw them away. Jeffrey, yes, in theory. So the front of it is a leg, but that ain't going to hold that much. But in theory, my fat self can jump up and get over there before it does too much damage. In theory. Theory is a wonderful thing. If I lose all of those, I've got more where they came from, and I'm going to still buy more because I have gear acquisition syndrome. So, yeah. And see, I don't like disposable stuff. Now, I'm going to share a story. I've shared it many times. I'm going to keep sharing it. So, back in my bass fishing days, when it was time that I needed to get a spinning reel for that lighter weight stuff, I got a Shimano Stratic. I want to say it's the FG model. Really, honest to God, 20 plus years old. Well, when I started getting back into fishing again a few years ago, it didn't crank just right. I had a spot when it would hit. It turns out I had it professionally cleaned and everything, and it still did it. The guy's like, well, here you crank the handle, when they run it real fast. Let's see, it's real smooth. Yeah, but if you do it slowly, you'll run into this stiff spot. And the main shaft had a slight bend to it. So I contacted Shimano and I said, hey, I want to get this. Where can I get a main shaft for this? Like, dear moron, that reel's 20 years old. We don't have parts for them. Which was one of the reasons that people always said, don't buy brands like PC Fun or Cast King. Get you an Abu Garcia because you can get parts for 400 million years. Well, there's a Shimano 20 years ago. I can't get a part for it. Now, is it fair for me to think that they should keep making parts 20 years in the future? No. Did it leave a bad taste in my mouth? It did. Let's see. Be honest, these are environmental fishing conditions and budget. Rods, reels are expensive, absolutely. Maintenance is simple. Many greases are lithium based. Okay. You prefer petroleum jelly? Really? So, like, if I remember correctly, petroleum jelly is like a byproduct of making gasoline. It's kind of like trash that they found a use for. Reels pay for themselves. You rebuild your rail. Hey, fishy fingers, Jackson. I don't know how many likes I have, but thank you to everybody who did hit the like button. If you haven't done it yet, and you're like, I don't know how to do it, just double tap your screen. Double tap whichever rod you think isn't going to get hit the most, which is all of them. I get it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening to me. Honestly, it makes the day go by better. I'm down here. Here's the thing. I'm not going to eat anything I catch out of here because it's the Mississippi River in downtown Memphis, and I've eaten enough mercury in my day. So I'm going to release them anyway. So you know how when you almost get a fish into the boat but not quite, you're like, quick release. I'm even better than that. I didn't even hook them in the first place. But I'm going to go over here and see what I can do. I mean, I brought my net. I was thinking good things. I had high hopes. Or I had hopes and was high. One of the two. Get out of that route. Well, okay, anyway. This is a PC Funny Alios 400. I love this reel. Magnetic brake. Let's see. And these, the ones I have an 8.1 to 1 gear ratio. So if you reel fast enough, you can get it up out of the crap before it gets hung and you have to break something off. And I broke free of one and doggone if I didn't catch the next one. Hate it when that happens. Jesus H. Christ. All right. So if anybody's wondering why you can still hear me, I wear the microphone. It's the DJI Mic Mini. I really like them. But you have to have the right kind of phone. And they have not tested it against enough phones, in my opinion. Because some of them will not charge. Use pass-through charging while you're using the receiver. And it says that they will do Bluetooth. They will with certain devices. I haven't found a phone that the Bluetooth works with yet. I mean, the phone attaches to the Bluetooth, connects to the Bluetooth just fine. But the microphone doesn't work. And this is 65 fem rate. I had to use the handle of my knife as my holding my dingamajiggy. See how much of the rig I got back. I get some of it back because nope. No, I got nothing back. I got nothing back. Not even hopes, not even dreams. I got nothing. But this one has about a 30-foot or so mono leader attached with an FG knot, and it broke at the mono. So there's that. First mono, I think, is, I don't know, feels like 60 pounds. This is the Chaos Pro size 50. I really like it except for one thing. You hear that bait clicker? You see where it is, like right next to the microphone? Out here, over there, you ain't hearing it. That's the one thing they need to fix. Otherwise, it is better in every way over the Chaos XS50. Now, the Chaos XS comes up in 40, 50, and a 60, whereas the Pro, for at least right now, only comes in a 50. So that's my skipjack head. I'll cast it back out for a little while. Something just flipped up in front of me. I think it was a gar. Probably have the magnetic brake set a little too tight. I don't care. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. You know, I hate the phrase "it is what it is," because of course it is what it is. Because if it wasn't what it is, then it wouldn't be what it is. But what I hate more than that, if you know, you know. What? If you know, you know. No shit, Sherlock. And if you don't know, you don't know. So this is the Chaos Pro. Oh no, I'm sorry, the XS50. And see, has a much better bait clicker. Gosh, okay. There is a bunch of rocks. And I keep finding each and every dang one of them. Hummer, knifey. So if you're wondering why I haven't been reeling them in and checking the bait, this is why. Now, this should have a mortician's rig on it. If you don't know what that is, look on YouTube or, ow, mother of pearl. Ouch. So it actually came unwrapped around here. That was that snappy noise. And dinged my thumb in the process. And yes, I said mother of pearl. Because I try to be good sometimes. Like I say, or you can check my channel and learn more about my take on the mortician rig. So the goal here is to get most of the rig back. And it's exactly what happened, except that this, yep, it is a mortician's rig. So I got my sinkers back, got one of my baits back. This was the leader to the other hook. The other hook is what broke off. So it worked as it's supposed to. So you've got, it has two hooks and then sinkers on it. And the goal is to get back as much of the rig as you can if you get hung up. And it worked exactly as it was supposed to. It has 80-pound leader, 40-pound on the snoods, the little droppers. And this one has 30-pound going to the sinkers. Some of them have 40-pound because I realized I could just use 40-pound on those as well. So, let's see if this one's going to do what I want it to do. And right in the freaking rocks. So again, I'm just wrapping around the handle of my bait knife 3 or 4 times to give me a good strength, a good strong pull point that's not going to slip, because your drag will, of course, slip. And then you pull until you realize what a freaking weakling you are. Lord. So I have 40-pound mainline for anybody who cares. And I'm trying to not let this get tuned down around the blade and do damage there. That one I lost the whole rig. Poop happens. So. Bring these two back over here so I can tie on some more rigs. So that's why I'm not checking them very often. I'm hoping if I get a fish, at least it will take it off somewhere and do nice things with it. Let's see what you guys have to say. Hey, Fishy Fingers Jackson, I'm pretty sure I said, hey, let's say you pay $10,000 for a car and you maintain the best you can. Why not do that to a $200 reel? Well, because 10,000 and 200 are two different numbers. And reels are taken for granted, right? You know you're supposed to, oh, y'all see that? I don't know if y'all see, oh, look at there. Look at there. If I don't fall over, that could be a fish. I mean, it's something. And that's on the head piece that I just cast it back out. So while something's thinking about what it wants to do with that, I'm going to go ahead and cast a single one out. Yes, I could put another snoot on there, dropper, whatever you want to call it. But I didn't. And you and I are both just going to have to live with the consequences of that. So for now, I'll put that one over there. So I'm just giving this one a little slack. I want to see if anything happens. It looks like it's tightening up a little bit, but that just could be the mono sinking. Still looks like it's tightening up. I'm going to give it just a little pressure. So I feel weight, which is probably exactly what I'm feeling, weight. Yep, that's just weight. Wait, wait, I never got the chance to love you. Wait, wait, I only want to say I love you one more time. Then we'll sit back down. And doggone it, you see that? You see it. I don't know what a PVA hook is. I'm guessing you mean rubber. Betty Swallocks. Yeah, I'm fishing some sticky bottom. Let me get a little closer in case something really fun happens. You know what I am going to do? Besides, be handsome. And this is the Chaos Pro, so the clicker is very quiet. And I can't find it. There it is. I'm going to put it in free spool and let the clicker do its thing. See if it wants to take a little line off of there. Have a good day. Don't buy his rig. Listen. Now here, ladies. You see how hard I had to pull those rigs to break them? Those are good rigs. So while I'm catching rocks, you can kick rocks. Just joking for everybody that doesn't know. Let's see. Who's Pearl? Well, there are other words I could use, and I try to be family friendly until there's a troll, and then I use every curse word I know, because word. Trying to be good. You love me, man. Oh. If you love me, you wouldn't have gone on hiatus for months at a time, but hey, you know, whatever. You like my dad. You went out to get cigarettes, and I ain't seen you in 2 years. Let's see. Gotta go get ice. Well, Gig's gonna go get ice for me? He really does think I'm gonna catch something, sucker. So for anybody, Pearl is encapsulated, so shouldn't come over shield. There you go. Why not use live bait? Well, there are two reasons. First of which is I don't have any. Yes, I could have gone and caught some, but I didn't. I'll tell you how to not catch fish. Don't tell me how to catch fish, see? This is a fishing channel. It's not a catching channel. You want to see people catch fish? NJ Fishing Maniac is your guy. He catches fish. So for those who don't know, and if he wanted you to know this, he'd tell you himself, but I'm going to tell you. Gigability lives down in Florida. He is a shrimper by trade. Not that kind of shrimper, not the Urban Dictionary kind. And he likes to go fishing when he's not shrimping. So shrimp is how he makes the money, and fishing is how he loses. So there you go. He's a professional. What am I after? Well, now, you say shark. Bull sharks have been known to go past Memphis, up further north. So, having said that, I'm trying for catfish. If I happen to catch a gar, yay! The next gar that I catch that's not in mercury water, I'm gonna try eating it. Because I've watched some of these, I've seen everything from using a hatchet to take the skin off to using a 10 snips. Saw some guy use a sawzall. Because gar have very thick, tough skin. So once you get through it, then you can just kind of like use your knife to kind of peel the skin down. And it's got two long, nice looking back straps. Do not cut the gut pocket. Take your back straps and go. They look very good. Let's see. PVA, polyvinyl acetate? Like the stuff, like Tide Pods. Yeah, there you go. Polyvinyl alcohol mesh, yeah. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Alright. That was as exciting as it's gonna get for right now. I'll lock that one back down. Got to drag off some. That way if something does hit it, maybe it won't take it in the water. I'm gonna come back here, sit down with my two beautiful rods, and tie on some new rigs. Because that's just how we do it. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate the lack of trolls. I don't mind good trolls. One guy got me good. Oh, he got me good. It was beautiful. I couldn't help but laugh and applaud. He's like, "Hey, I'm kind of an artist, and I like to draw people. Can I draw a picture of you and send it to you?" Sure, you know. So he asked for my email address, told him it's in my channel description. And about 10 minutes later, he said, "I do a picture and send it to you." And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Well, I'll look at it later." He's like, "I want to see your reaction live." So I'm sure you're thinking what I was thinking at this point. I'm like, it's a pic of, something that rhymes with pick. I'm like, if it's one of those, I'm just going to feel bad about, being shown up by a 3-year-old. But anyway, so I open it up and I figured it was AI generated, but it was a caricature of me. Not a flattering one. But I wasn't for sure that it was AI generated. So, I'm trying to, be nice and, trying to hold back the laughter because it was kind of funny. But, also trying to be respectful of this person's feelings if, in fact, they weren't trolling me. And he's like, "I'm going to do one more. I think and so he emails me another one. He's like, go check now. I think this one is a much better representation." Because I said, I didn't know if it was the best representation of it. And it was another one. And then that was when I was sure it was AI. Because it was, same like sketchbook stuff that you got back at Chuck E. Cheese when your kids were little. And it was it was different, equally as semi-heinous, but it was funny. He put effort into it. And I don't mind being trolled. What I mind are these lazy, have I said lazy yet? Kids who just don't do anything. They made a living out of low effort. Like the Lamar Jackson edit having a username like Dixie followed by the word Normus, so that they get you to. They think they're really clever by getting somebody to say happy birthday to that or whatever, and it's such low effort and it's copied, right? There's no original thought. That's what bothers me about trolls. And when a troll does catch somebody with can you say happy birthday to some name that if you say it the right way, I can appreciate those. When somebody gets caught with it somewhat funny, depending. But for God's sakes, people, put just if you're not going to put any effort in it, I'm not going to waste my time with you. It's like, when there's a knock-knock joke going around in grade school and everybody's heard it 4 times, and then you go and do it for the first time to somebody like you just came up with it. And everybody's groaning going, moron, we've all heard this and told it 24,000 times ourselves. We all got the same pack of Laffy Taffy. And it's funny because anybody who knows me from other live streams knows that I troll a bit. But I consider it to be a sacred art. And when you take a giant dump on my sacred art, it makes me mad. So yes, I'm the gatekeeper for trolling. Self-appointed. Doesn't pay much. Actually, it pays exactly what you think it would pay. None. So, sorry, I was tying rigs. Let's see. Where we at? Fishing haws with rain worms. I'm more like fishing with the Rain Man. Hey, Ashley Brady, which turd are you talking to? I mean, we gotta, you're gonna have to narrow that shit down. How are you doing, Ashley? I hope that you and your man candy boy toy, whatever you want to call him, is doing just fantastic. I'm so happy for you. You have deserved finding someone who can treat you well, and it sounds like you've done that, and I am very happy for you, little girl. Take your grandma for some lunch and clean her house a bit. Well, I mean, if you into house cleaning, honey, come on my place. I'm not asking for anything else, just clean my house. Might even pay you a little bit. Won't even ask you to dress in anything creepy. I just want my house clean. Not a wet line all year. Well, now that, I mean, it's the year's half over, bro. You need to get out there and wet a line. But, taking care of family is important. Ashley hasn't been out since November? What kind of a piece of crap boyfriend you got that doesn't take you fishing? The sacred fart. I got to pay you well. Well, I mean, tell you what I'm going to do, Ashley. I will pay you well. I will pay you in services. And the service that I am going to grant you is one that you, trust me, would be willing to pay a lot of money for. If you only knew. And that service is I will keep my clothes on. All of them. Now, you do not understand what a favor that is to you. You may not realize it, but I have seen me naked. I do not recommend it to anyone. I don't recommend it to me. Hell, I got to look at that shit. You know what I mean? So, you may not think that that's a good payment. It is. A hell of a payment. So I'm going to take my sandy bottom bucket and stick it in my chair so I can find me some more weights. So when my chair is all sandy and I complain about it, like the whiny little girl I am, you can remind me that I'm stupid. That's it. There's one. Come here. One of those 4-ouncers. My problem is I got 6-ounce cannonballs, I got 10-ounce cannonballs, and after I use up these last 2 4-ounce kind of bank style, I'm down to pyramids. 4-ounce pyramids. That's what I'm gonna use. I use 2 of them on one. Give me 8 ounces. Keep it rolling around. Oh. Oh, no, I'm not. Apparently, I just had the one. Well. Shizzle. All right. Get my bucket, come back over here. Set my cutting board up on top. Set my bait knife up there. Oh. And my other previously frozen, now partially nasty skipjack. So this is the Mortician's rig. Put a 4-ounce bank sticker on the bottom. We'll see how it works. Uh-oh, am I getting hit on that big first rod again? It was doing that a little bit and then quit. Probably a little gar messing with it. You know what they call gar in the ocean, don't you? Sea gar. Try the video, I'll be here all week. Crap. Okay, that is, and we've got 2 hooks, so I'm gonna take back. That is super frustrating. I apologize. My battery ran out for no reason that I know of. Try to get this thing back in place. Turn the screen down as far as I can. I can't see anything on it now. Check my thingamajiggy over here. Oh, make sure that I've got. Yeah, so the mic should be working. Go back to my tablet over here. See if I get some volume out of it. Sounds like I've got volume. Okay. So we're back. I do not know why things happened the way they happened. Oh goody, my fan's up. My fan is out of juice. Yay me. Problem is I wanted to keep checking the battery and I can't because I can't see anything on the screen. So it was up to 5% temporarily. If we do lose it, I will start another one from my other phone. Apologize profusely. I turned off Wi-Fi, I turned off Bluetooth, and set the screen down to almost nothing. So there's that. And I had the audio, or well, actually I was over there doing other stuff, but typically I have the chat in full screen on my tablet so I can keep an eye on you guys. Because as you know, some of you guys can't behave. Usually me. Okay, hi. You've been busy, actually. I don't need to know what you were doing, but I got a pretty goddamn. Thinking there were some uglies and some bumping. I'm just saying. Just saying. Yeah, a sinker with wire out the back. So like spider sinkers, or the Sputniks that actually will flip down. You know. So the spider kind, they'll like, you can bend them, whereas the Sputniks will kind of like pop loose when you start reeling in. Anyway, yeah, saltwater people have some really cool stuff. I ain't gonna lie. Rip Santa Rock, the pull straight. Yep. Yeah, and Lloyd has gotten me in trouble in the past. You try to, I think I'm being funny, and the other person thinks I'm being a royal jackass. I've met me, I can understand why people would think I'm a jackass. Not saying they're wrong. Just saying that if I'm trying to be a jackass, it's unmistakable. If there's a question, I wasn't trying. Brando, I appreciate you being in here. I appreciate everybody being in here. We're down to 18 people, which is still way more than I ever deserved. But I do apologize for the problems with the stream. And I would have caught it if I weren't over there playing with my baits and stuff. But we got 4 pieces of skipjack out. 4 rods with skipjack out. You want to know how many fish we've caught? Take 10 and divide it by 0. Actually, take 0 and divide it by 10. There you go. Either way, you're going to come up. Well, one of them you're going to come up with nothing, and the other one you're going to come up with can't divide by 0. Anyway. Yeah, see. Part of me says I wouldn't mind making my own sinkers. The other part of me is like, you poured lead before, Mike. You're lazy. You don't like doing it. It gets hot. And you like to burn yourself. And you surely shouldn't be trusted with anything. But one of Ashley's friends, her dad is, I don't know if he's going to a nursing home or hospice or what, but like the friend's husband got the guns. And she said he's got some fishing stuff. So she's just going to bring the box over and tell me to go through it, keep what I want, and if there's anything that I don't want, donate it somewhere. But she did. I said, does he have any rods? Oh, I'm sure he does. So who knows when I get there. And she said when she was a kid, she remembers, melting lead and doing stuff with molds. So maybe there's some lead and molds and stuff. And you're not going to see it for a little bit, but we got a pretty nice sized chunk of tree coming down the Mississippi. So anyway, I said it earlier long ago. Somebody was asking about sharks. Of course, in theory, there aren't. One of my lines just jumped. I could see the line jump, but then it didn't do anything. So there's that. Anyway, so in theory, you're not supposed to have sharks in freshwater, but bull sharks don't seem to care. They've come up. I think they've seen them as St. Louis, maybe even north of there. But what I'm wondering is if we couldn't get some bull sharks and train them to like the taste of Asian carp. Because for anybody who doesn't saltwater fish, doesn't watch them, something's sneaking on the tree. Hey, Bill Reddick Outdoors. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Blank screen on your end. Don't tell me that. Well, I see it. I'm monitoring it from my tablet, so hopefully it's on your end. So for anybody that doesn't watch saltwater stuff, the gray tax man is what they call them down there. And you will get on a good fish, and you will be reeling in a lot of them, they just reel as fast as they can trying to beat the shark. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen people reel in half a fish. Or they'll get it right next to the boat, and the shark will just come up and slam it. It makes them not happy. And what's weird, at least in Florida, a lot of the shark species are protected, like lemon sharks. Any of the protected species in Florida, you cannot take their gills out of the water. Let me say that one more time for those in the back. Legally, you cannot take their gills out of the water. So if you're surf fishing and you catch a shark and it's one of them species, in theory, you're supposed to get in the water next to Mr. Unhappy Shark to try to extract your hook or at least cut the leader as close to the hook as you can. See, there's my rod going again. It's that same one that's been getting tappy tappy love. And the problem is, unless you've been around sharks all your lives, you don't know one shark from the next, because they're sharks. They got fins, they got tails, they got teeth. That's all you need to know. Interestingly enough, the spinner shark and the blacktip shark, the way you tell a blacktip shark from the spinner shark is, I think it's the bottom rear fin doesn't have a black tip on the blacktip shark. The spinner shark does. How's that for black tip? Yeah, anyway. I did catch one Atlantic shark nose. I didn't know what it was when I caught it, but I released it. About maybe 2 foot long. He's pretty. No, I didn't lip it. But I do want to catch some sharks. When halibut fishing, I had to keep half of one because I got eaten by a shark. Yeah. And I saw an interesting ticketing by the FWC, a video of it. And what it was, these folks were out past the 3 mile marker. So anything 3 miles in the end is state waters. After 3 miles is federal waters. But if they're in federal waters, they can still be charged with the state citation if it's lesser and they're trying to go easy on people. Anyway, these folks had caught some bluefish. Now, my first trip down to Pensacola, when I hired a guide, the surf guide, I caught a bluefish. He told me people don't eat them because they're too greasy, too oily. Most people don't like them. I found out since then that is an opinion of some people. Some people like them. Anyway, the limit changed, I don't know, a few years ago. It's down to 3. And there's a minimum length limit. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, this guy was using them for bait. And he got a citation, one for having over the limit. I think he had some that were short. And because it is a regulated species, not necessarily game fish, but regulated species. The rule is they have to be landed whole. And I always was like, what, landed whole? Like, how else do you land them? I mean, you have a shark eats half of it, you get in trouble. Now that means you got to bring it to land whole. So while he had it filleted in parts and was using it for bait out on the water, it was not landed whole. So he got a ticket, or he could have gotten a ticket. I think he got a ticket for it. Which then brings me to the question, not that I've used bluefish as bait before, maybe, from the dock, maybe. But so I landed it whole. I assumed that since I landed it whole, that means I could cut it up and take it back out and use it. I don't know. I got to figure that out. The Florida regulations are not easy to figure out. Saltwater regulations are not easy to decipher, let me tell you. Freshwater is because I grew up fishing freshwater. Anyway, mouth running, read chat. Got it. Oh, yeah, well, my phone flat out died. Yeah. 5 miles federal? You sharkers. Like, you can dump your lavatory waste out past 3 miles, but you probably have better knowledge than I do. But I thought it was 3 miles. At least in the Gulf, I think it's 3 miles. Maybe that's where, I don't know. Let's see. A black tip shark it has something. It has protrusions. Well, it's not just, it's the fins, it's the shape, it's where it intersects the pectoral fins, where the dorsal starts in relation to there's a whole lot of, and then the shape of their face, and it's like, was it broad or narrow? Like, I don't know. How many sharks do you think I've seen, people? It's like when people see gar, they're all alligator gar, whether it's long nose, short nose, alligator, spotted, whatever. Oh, it's an alligator gar. That's how sharks are. Anyway, where was it? I don't know. I did catch a shark. Got a shark? Like shark nose. Blue don't exist. Bluefish don't exist. I don't know what Dr. Seuss fan you are, but there's one fish, two fish, redfish, bluefish, and we all know redfish exist. Bluefish do exist. There's also blue runner, which is a different species. Bluefish to me look a lot like a largemouth bass with some teeth. Don't lip one. It's almost there. Citations do exist. Maybe a citation, maybe a trophy citation for bluefish may not, but as far as like getting tickets, they do exist. How are we looking? Well, F and Saint, on a scale of 0 to 0 fish, I have gone the entire gamut. Mostly I've gotten hung up and lost rigs in the rocks. I've got one that keeps getting played with. Everything out there is skipjack right now, previously frozen, but still large. I think I hear. What? What? Oh, the chair's in the truck. Oh, yep, sorry. Oh! I put it in the back seat so some redneck wouldn't steal it. There are garbage bags in the back seat or front seat. Would you grab those for me? Okay, it's unlocked. Chair and garbage bag. Thank you. That's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Actually, the garbage bags was one thing that I forgot to bring down here, but I'm keeping all my garbage to myself. Let's see. Oregon, you can use piece of fish, not whole fish for bait. West Coast, 50-mile off coast. You drop ash for cremation, 100 mile out, you can drag a body. There you go. So the problem is I'm cheap. So I've said that numerous times. I'm hoping you believe me by now. And the majority of circle hooks, especially the inexpensive ones, are offset. And for reef species and sharks in Florida, you cannot use an offset hook. You also can't use a stainless steel hook, but I don't use those anyway, so there you go. I prefer to use inline circle hooks when I can find them. And of course, in Florida, I'm always going to use them if I can, because I don't like the idea. Okay. So there's the head. Okay. So if anybody remembers, this head was about 3 inches longer earlier. There is no slime anywhere on this. I can actually see little ribs in this thing. So I'm thinking we had a little gar playing hopskip and kissy face with it. I'm going to cast it back out there because I don't know how much longer we're going to be here. And I don't want to break out my final skipjack just yet. So, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe, yada, yada, yada. But I told you I've seen something that's been flipping down there. Did you grab the trash bag? Okay. I'm keeping all my trash kind of close, so not like everybody else doesn't leave theirs out here, but that's not what we do. Oh! Yeah, it's a little hard when you got that bridge. Okay. Is either one of these the big river crossing? So the third bridge is? Okay. So for anybody who's been listening this entire time, Big River Crossing is on the third bridge. I believe a train still goes over it, but there's a walking area. Do trains still go through it?
Yeah.
And then on this side of the bridge, they've got a lot of walking paths and bike paths and stuff. All right, here we go. Yeah, see, I don't have to use barbless hooks, thank goodness. And reef fish are interesting. So I believe mangrove snapper are considered a reef fish. A reef fish does not mean that you caught it off of a reef. A reef, it means it's one that inhabits reefs as well. So there are species of reef fish that you can catch surf fishing. So there you go, words. Oh my goodness, LP Fishing family, I don't know who you are or why you are, but you just gave away 20. It's like 10, but twice as many memberships. And let me tell you, sir, or ma'am, whoever you are, you can be anybody you want to be. Octopus hooks, bend the point 7 degrees away from the hook shaft so the hook's not flat. Offset similar to, similar circle hooks. Okay. Longest word in the alphabet, and you can say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, which is not really a word in the alphabet, but that's okay. Okay. Now, so let's go through these people that were given a gift membership by LP Fishing Family. Now, LP Fishing Family can't pick and choose who gets them. But I'm going to tell you, we got some good folks here. Mr. Rogers, good guy. Uptown, Chrissy Brown, good person. Danny Stoneout, great guy. River Rat 3030, great guy. Lance Makuga, Hawaiian fisherman, absolutely amazing guy. Fishing with Big Mike, got his own channel, great guy out of East Tennessee. Double A Fishing, don't know him that well, but good dude. Fishy Things, another. So, I mean, those. Oh, there's another list up there I missed. F and Saint, always in here. P&B Catfishing, good guy. Fun Fishing Adventures, you always want to check out his channel. That's Scotty. Bri Kloptic. Bri, I believe, was the first person to send me a super chat, or that may have been Scotty, and Bri hit me up with a couple one night. Very appreciative of that. Gigability, good guys are in here. Adventure America, he has a channel. That's Troy. He and his lovely wife live down in Corpus Christi, Texas. They go live a lot. Dorothy Richardson. She's been in here several times. I see her in other chats. Lisa Swain, Catfish Lady. She's Lisa Swain, Catfish Lady. We give each other grief. Glacier Shark, always a good supporter. Bricky Bobby, Skipjack Cindy. I mean to tell you, as far as people that got gifted memberships, out of my 2,500 plus subscribers, those are some good ones. I know you couldn't pick them, but yes, a fine group of people. Thank you so much. Yeah, Auntie Chrissy got one. Uncle Ernie didn't. Neener. F and Saint saying thank you for the membership. Creek Seeker Fishing, that is cool, my friend. LP, you don't speak English and you give me money? Hey, man. Thank you. Well, if you don't speak English, we can do the universal sign of, I don't know what you do speak. Thank you, gracias, por favors. Then I don't know other languages. I don't even know Spanish, so, I was really grasping for straws on that one. Okay. Thank you, Creek Seeker Fishing. Appreciate you. Brando, well, if you count the number of fish that I had before and you double it, that is where we're at right now. I did have a skipjack head that got a lot of picking by something. I think it was probably a gar from the way it was. But it was, whatever it was picking really well. And I mean, like biting off little chunks, but leaving the ribs. It was really cool that the ribs were still there. I just don't know what it's almost like pinfish, to be honest with you. The pinfish are like the bluegill of saltwater, except they are more at just pecking and pecking and pecking. They will steal your bait blind. Anyway, Nobody else. That mean I won't tell you. Me, you got a membership from LP family or LP Fishing Family. Congratulations on that. I don't know what you retracted there, Yusuf John, but welcome in. Brando, crabs or crawfish? Well, so I don't have any crabs. And if you're asking which I'd rather eat, well, it is hard to turn down king crab legs. Mostly because king crab legs are so honking big. For all the work you have to do to get one of the legs apart, it's worth it. Snow crab, not quite it. I mean, still very much worth it. Just not a lot more work for less results. But like blue crab claws, we've had those at restaurants. They saute them in garlic butter and stuff. Had a lot of work for a little bit of meat. I mean, you just digging in there for the garlic butter. To be honest with you, I like crab legs and crab claws. Crawfish, I like it better when somebody else does it, because that is a lot of work for one little bitty piece of meat. Now, like, there's a chain in Texas, Razoo's, supposedly Cajun. I swear everything in the restaurant is served in the same batter, breading, whatever. Everything tastes the same. It does have some spice to it. They did, I get crawfish tails there. I mean, it's hard to deep fry something and it not be good. But, yeah. But I've caught a few blue crabs. I caught one that I actually kept. He was really my last line from that live stream. And he held on till he got up on the dock, and then he finally dropped. And then he wanted to play scurry, 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 and I caught him. And I picked him up with tongs that were not long enough. And he was going to go free. I just wanted to show him off camera because he was actually a good-sized blue crab. And then he grabbed hold of my thumb. And he drew blood. So he spent the night in a bucket thinking about what he had done wrong. And the next day he became crab quarters for bait. And didn't catch anything on him, but everybody ate him. Yeah, so Ashley's dad has a crab pot, and I put it out last time I was there. I caught one little one in there, but I was dorking around with it too much. And by the time I turned it the right way to get him out of there, he'd fallen out one of the escape holes. Like they wasn't very big. But a few times that I've been to Pensacola and actually looked for them, hermit crabs darn near everywhere. And some of my best shorts are hermit crabs walking around. Everybody loves hermit crabs. And don't quote me on this because I try to read my regulations. I try to be up on them and everything. I believe it's either 5 or 10 that you can have in possession one time, crustaceans. Aquarium type crustaceans. I don't know exactly what they call them. But you have I think 10 gallons of blue crabs. So I try to make sure that, I'm not possessing more than the legal limit, even though I'm letting them loose anyway. I put them in my pocket and keep them wet and let them walk around on some stuff, take some shorts, and throw them back in the water. But it's kind of hard when you're walking around, you just pick up one after another and like, oh, these are so cute. And they are so cute. Hey, Mike's Fishing Home. Glad to see you, brother. I'm back up to 33 folks. Thank you so much. I had a phone die on me. And of course I had to juice it back up enough to get it back into the live stream. I tried to resume it from my other phone. I couldn't. Grab from the back, my hands flip over and they go dormant. Well, I think I saw that later. I'll give that a shot. Crabs are funny to watch because, we've all heard about the crab walk side to side. That is what they do. I know. Why would you think they didn't? But I'm stupid. And it's funny to watch because, man, they can flat out book it. They can book it. So You can't keep egg-bearing females, egg-bearing blue crabs in Florida. You can keep females that are not egg-bearing, although I will try to cull out the females and let them go reproduce, because, I mean, when they have a egg sponge on them, it's a bunch of eggs. So, you know, they are what feeds the future. I mean, I would love to catch a bunch of blue crabs and bring them home and let Ashley's mama and Ashley and all them figure out how to best prepare them. Because when I told them I fished and I was going to go fishing off that, they're like, "Oh, you're going to catch us dinner?" And you know what I said, don't you? Yeah! Got a train going overhead. The only fish that I've kept there yet was a permit I caught on the first time I went out with that guide. I didn't catch a pompano, but I did catch a permit, which are more rare than pompano. The guide said it was the first one he'd seen in a couple of years, I believe. So anyway, that was cool. That was the only thing that came home with us. And we cooked it with some other fish, and I don't know what was what. I'm not a fish connoisseur. But anyway, those are words, I used them. But yeah, you know, I got in my kayak, I had some fiddler crabs, I went over by Entertainment Bait and Tackle, the bridge there right next to them, and I dropped down some fiddler crabs thinking I'm going to go home with sheep's head aplenty. I went home with sheep's head of none. Still getting used to the kayak and how to control it and current and stuff. And yeah, anyway, it's a lot different when you're not trying to fish out of it. I have not caught a redfish yet. I think other than the permit and the bluefish, whatever, caught a few of those. The only game fish I've caught, I caught some white trout. I don't think they're considered game fish, but I did get a sea trout, speckled sea trout. It was short, so it wasn't within the slot, so I couldn't keep it anyway. But those sea trout, they're interesting critters. They have two front teeth fangs. And I've never lived one, but I'm thinking it's something you won't do twice. Bluefish, they have teeth. Anything in salt water, if you don't know what it is, don't try lipping it. Just saying. Some of those fish make gar look like they don't have teeth. Let's see. I can't do that to a hermit crab. Hermit crabs are just pretty. Interesting fact, because I looked it all up. Hermit crabs, they have like a tail section. I don't know what else to call it. They use the muscle in it to keep in the shell. So they don't have shells of their own. They find shells and they take them over. And when they outgrow a shell, they'll get a different one. And they actually have a line of hermit crabs. They're getting this big long line. It's really cool. So the one that's going to upgrade to the biggest shell that they have, he upgrades, and then they all just in succession. They line up from biggest to smallest, and then in succession, they leave theirs and they go to the other one. I mean, they're out of that shell for a couple of seconds. Don't try to ever pull the hermit crab out of its shell, because you will kill it by doing so. Because that muscle and that tail, you're going to have to do some mortal damage to get them out. So I think they're cute. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to use them as bait. I'm a sissy. 12 dungs and reds and 100 of any other species crab. You can take as many. But he used to use GoPro and cab pods to watch. Yep. And so we've got, well, there were 4 trophy crappie lakes down here in Mississippi. Arca Butler, which is currently drained because they ran out of, the dam broke, and Apparently, it's going to take them 10 years to fix the damn thing. You got Sardis, you've got Grenada, and you got Enid. So they're trophy crappie lakes, so the minimum lake limit is 12 inches. And just like any lake where it's 10 inch, you catch nothing but 9 3/4. There you catch a bunch of 11 3/4. So, yeah, when you've got a size limit that you have to get to, they all get harvested just about as soon as they reach that limit. Anyway, jigging for lingcod and caught a starfish. That's cool. Yeah, lingcod is one of those West Coast species, I think. I know they got them up in Alaska as well, but I think reef robber fishes for lings. You don't have reef robber or hitch by hitch. They're both good guys to watch. Hitch more goes after salmon. Earl goes after a lot of crabs, but he does lings and other species of fish. Anyway, a lot of good guys up in Oregon. A lot of good channels up there. And what's fun about surf fishing in Florida, at least in the Gulf area, so your redfish have a slot. A lot of times you're going to catch over slots, so you can't keep them. Maybe you may be able to keep one over slot, I forget. But for the most part, people throw them back if they aren't slots. And the big uglies, which are the black drum, by the time they lose their stripes so they don't look like sheepshead anymore, apparently they get a bunch of worms in them, and most everybody throws them back. So there's a lot of big red drum, black drum that you can catch. And of course you got the jack crevalles, which have to be crevalle jacks, because everything else, you got an amberjack, you got this jack, you got that jack, so why would a crevalle not be a crevalle jack? Anyway, everybody calls them jack crevalles, so there you go. Sometimes I don't have to be right, but I want to be. So those things put up a big fight. I think I caught a couple of them. I mistook them as pompano because they kind of look alike. They were little ones, and they weren't legal if they were pompano anyway. So, but I realized later they're probably jacks. And then I don't think I've caught a whiting yet. I've not caught a ladyfish yet, and those look like a lot of fun to catch. Ladyfish are the bane of a lot of people's existence down there because you can use them for bait, but a lot of people don't. But they jump, they grab your bait, they run, they jump, they make you think you got a real fish, and then it's a ladyfish, damn it. But for some reason, people that hook into the jack crevalles, even though they're not something they want to keep, they don't want to eat them, they don't tend to get angry when they catch one. A hardhead catfish, they get angry. Two types of catfish that I know of in the Gulf. You got the gaff-top sail cat, which looks to me like a channel cat or a blue cat, probably more of a blue cat. Beautiful light coloration and long dorsal and pectoral fins. Beautiful fish. I mean, like the fins look fancy. They can still stab you. They still have the stabbies, but they just look so beautiful. The hardheads look like a channel cat, but they have big nostrils. And people in Florida hate them. Luke from Catfish and Carp actually did a catch and cook on them. He said they weren't bad. He kind of said they were kind of, like channel cats. But I heard him say later that they really aren't that good either. But the gaff-top sail cats, people will eat. But man, they hate hardheads. Hardheads tend to like dirtier water. So a lot of your pompano fishermen, if they get into hardheads, they're like, I'm leaving. Pompano aren't here. They like clear water, and I don't want to catch these nasty things. So there's that. What you thinking, Sugar Bear? I don't think she's listening to me. I don't blame her. I wouldn't listen to me either. Wolfpack, I've had bites. I think it was a gar. It did a number on my skipjack head. To the point that a lot of, like about 2 or 3 inches of it was missing, but you can still see the ribs coming down. It was cool, but weird. See, I don't like the taste of trout. Rainbow trout, too many bones, too little meat. Now, salmon, I will buy at the store and eat, pick out the big bones and stuff. But I'm not in an area where you can fish for salmon. And while there are areas within a couple of hours of me where trout naturally spawn, reproduce, and everything, because there's cold water, like at the White River below or in the Little Red River below the Greers Ferry Lake, because the dam is like, the water dam I think is like 300 feet deep. They pull from it well over 100 feet down, so it's cold water. And when they put that dam in and started releasing water, it ran all of the native species off because they couldn't handle the cold water. So they stocked trout instead. So they do naturally reproduce, and they also stock it regularly. Around here, some of the park ponds, in winter they'll put in rainbow trout, 8 to 10 inches. They can't survive the summer heat. The water isn't deep enough in these park ponds. They don't survive the summer. So, they do it. You buy a trout stamp. You can keep, I think, 5 a day, maybe 7 a day. I forget. But I just didn't find rainbow trout fishing fun, or didn't really enjoy the taste and the bones and stuff. So I did that 1 year. That's the end of that. However, I've heard rainbow trout are good bait. So anyway, words. Hey, Scooter, 17 watching and 100 likes. Well, hey, I'm down to 15 now. That's not good. 100 likes, that's it. Because earlier, man, I was over 100 people. And, you get the revolving door. My battery in my phone died for a little bit, so I lost a lot of people. But I got back up to 30 or so. I guess they all found better things to do at 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Maybe they got tired of people asking how many I've caught and me answering with the same round number of 0. I'm out here just enjoying being outdoors. Super Hottie's back there somewhere, probably working on schoolwork. I've been out here since about 7 this morning, somewhere around there. I've broken off several times. So the water is up. I've fished down here once before, and I think you can see a piling. Let me see. Yeah, so the piling that you see the end of there, last time I was here, right now it's in water. Last time I was here, it was out of water by, I'd say I was at least 15 or 20 feet from where I am. The bank was that far down. And I mean, the Mississippi, it ebbs and flows and stuff. We don't have dams here to control the flow of water. So, water comes or it doesn't. But there's a big rock ledge that's underwater, especially as you're looking at the pole, at the rods, everything's backwards. So right is left and left is right. So the piling you're seeing is actually to the right of the rods. Anyway, from the rods all the way to the right towards the piling, left on screen, rocks everywhere. I've already broken off 4 or 5 rigs. 4 parts of rigs. But at one of them, I pulled the sinker off of it. And one of them broke a hook off of a mortician's rig, so I got the sinker and the other hook back. I'm happy with the results of these mortician rigs so far. And when I've had to break them, of course I had to wrap the line around the handle of my bait knife just to get enough friction or pull or whatever, because the drag would give, because it's 40-pound mono hooked to 80-pound, hooked to 40-pounders stuff. So anyway, I'm happy. Even though I haven't pulled in any fish, I've learned things. I've proven that the mortician's rig, the way I tie it, it's not slipping. The parts that are supposed to break off will, with enough force. And there you have it. And in case anybody wonders, that's not a snake, that's just a rod sock laying in front of the rod stuff. So as all of you who watch YouTube know, YouTube will suggest different stuff. And one of the videos I watched, the guy, I think he lives in Ohio, may have a winter residence down in Florida. Anyway, he and his wife were down there, and the game warden caught them grabbing a crab trap. Now, I'm no expert on crab traps, but as much gross as was on this thing, I would have thought it was abandoned. And it was in shallow enough water, tide was out or what, I don't know. But they saw it. He actually went in there, he released some of the crabs because they were too small or were females, but he kept a couple. Game warden busted him, called the owner of the trap, told him what was going on, said, we're writing him a citation, and said, if you want to press charges civilly, you can, let you know. And they're like, oh yes, absolutely. We're tired of people stealing our traps and stealing our catch, stealing our livelihood and all this stuff on the lake. It was a couple of crabs. And I learned, not that I didn't think it was illegal to steal out of somebody's crab trap, but like, I've seen a couple of buoys that didn't move for a long time down in that area over by where I fished down there. I saw them in the kayak, and I was curious what's attached to them. I figured they're crab pots, but I wasn't sure. And I seriously thought about just grabbing one of the buoys and just pulling it up just to see what it was. See if there were any crabs there. I wasn't going to take anything, but are you catching crabs here kind of thing. But apparently even touching somebody else's gear is an offense. Now, of course, if I were the owner of the gear and I saw somebody pull it up, I would be screaming, yelling, hooting, and hollering, thinking they're stealing. I was just really curious. Milker, I got something. Hey, downtown Ernie Brown, how you doing? Hey, Mike Irvin. I've been doing this since about 7 this morning. Ashley is down here. My fan has run out of juice. Let me check and see what she's got going on. How late you want to stay out, babe? I was thinking it may be getting about time. My fan battery done died a while back. My phone battery has died once already. And we're getting into the hot part of the day. I'm thinking about calling it.
Okay.
You okay with that? All right. So Ashley drove down here and hang out with me for a while. When I left about 5:30 this morning, she was kind of like, can I meet you down there later? She had some running she needed to do this morning and everything. So, it's pulled something in your neck, can't turn your head. Oh, that's bad. I had a wreck, and it's been 10 years ago, and I still can't turn my neck as well as I used to. I used to think I could turn it all the way, halfway around my back. Now, if I turn it too far one direction, it doesn't hurt so much as it, but it makes me lightheaded. Really weird. So I'm going to pull these in because you never end a live stream without pulling your rods in because you never know what might be on them. And that's worked for me a few times. Okay. And doesn't surprise me, there's a bunch of rocks down there. I've already broke off a number of times. I'm going to use my bait knife, wrap my line around the bait knife 3 or 4 times. So I've got something to pull with. And let's see how much, if anything, I get back from my rig. Okay. So I broke free from one thing. I've done that before where I broke free from one thing and then got hung up with something else. So I got back my hook. I lost my sinker, and I already lost the other hook earlier. So this mortician's rig has done what it was supposed to do. So I'll explain the mortician's rig for anybody who doesn't know. It's a saltwater thing that came up, was the fishing mortician, who's actually a mortician, came up with it. So I use 40-pound main line, I go to 80-pound leader. Now, I use a figure 8 knot here, and then one at the bottom, right here. So you, as close together as you can get them, and then you run a leader off, like so. So you snell the hook up, no knot snell or egg loop, whatever you want to do, and then you tie a triple surgeon's loop, and you run the loop on one side, and then run the hook through the loop, so that you create a cow hitch knot, and it can float between these, and also can go round and round and round without a swivel. So that's nice. But as you can see, I mean, I've already pulled one hook from it off of here. I had to break a hook off, and it broke the 40-pound leader and left part of it there, and didn't do anything to the main 80-pound line. And then I go down to another swivel, or I can just do a big loop knot for the to connect to lighter weight mono 30 or 40 pound, and then hook the sinker to it. So the good thing on that is, the first time I broke it off, I broke off the hook, got the sinker back. This time the sinker got stuck, but I still got one of my hooks back and got both of my swivels back. So there's that. So I consider that a success. Much better than, if I used 80-pound line for the whole thing, then I would break at the swivel or in front and lose the whole rig. And we all know that hooks and sinkers and swivels, well, swivels are kind of cheap, but hooks and sinkers, not necessarily. So I loosened the drag on all these, so that if they got a good takedown, hopefully wouldn't drag it into the water. So this is my skipjack head that had gotten attacked by what I assume is gar, because the back half of the head's gone. And you can see bones. It's really, their skeleton's interesting. But anyway. So if things work out well, there's a couple different ways I can do this. If I hook this, so these are actually spaced pretty well. Then I've hooked the bottom hook on the hook keeper, I can then take the second hook, kind of hook it on this eye most of the way. This is a 2-piece rod, so I'm going to take it apart anyway. And let's reel this up. And then just wrap the sinker part around the handle. I could take the sinkers off, which would make more sense, but words. Sense is not one of them I like to use. All right. So we have the one rod sock. Oh, the other rod was also, that other rod was also a 2-piece. Let me break it in half. So I got a pickup, thinking that, I'll have enough room in the bed for 7.5-foot rods with a 5.5-foot bed, because apparently math is hard. Not the case. I can lay a 7-foot rod down diagonally, but not a 7.5-foot rod at all. So it has to lean over the edge of the bed, and I don't like that. So I got those 2 fib length rods because they're 2-piece 8.5-footers, and they're okay for what they are. Okay. Now these are the Fisi Fun Alios 400. This one is. Has an 8.1 to 1 gear ratio, which hopefully, yep, I was able to get it up and over everything and not get it stuck on the rocks. This one was also skipjack head that nobody wanted to eat. Another mortician's rig. And look at my hook. That so one of them that I got back, one of the 2 hooks, the one that came back with 1 hook instead of 2, that may be the River Cat's tackle. I think it is. They sent me some of their 12-aught hooks to do some testing on. I tested them. Oh, yeah. No matter how much I twist, it's not going to come apart because this is a 1-piece rod. Okay. So this one's not going to want to mate up like I want. So what we can do, kind of hook the hooks together like so. And then I rinse that sinker off. Get some of that sand off of it. I can just wrap this one around here and then put the rod sock on it. And if you're thinking you're going to pay for that when you try to get that rod sock off and the hooks are everywhere, you're probably right. And the last rod we're going to bring in, another one of the anvil rods. This one is a Carp Special Abu Garcia reel. Tighten the drag downs. See if I can get this up and over. I didn't. See if I can pull something free. He gave something's coming, something's coming. Here we go. Let's see how much of the rig I lost. So both hooks are gone. Leader's still there, but I got the sinker back. Yay, I guess. So I'm happy with the results I'm seeing out of this rig. In the cab of the truck, either on the front seat or in the back. If you're going up, can you take the fan with you? Okay. So we're going to get loaded up here, folks. For anybody who cares, see, I have a little fan there that blows on this. Keeps it warm, or keep it cool. Try to keep it cooled off. And we're reconnecting. There we go. Okay, so we are going to call it, folks. Appreciate everybody watching. 21 people still in here. 108 thumbs up. Appreciate each and every one of you. Didn't catch anything today, but I did prove that mortician's rig out very well, I think. I broke off probably 6 or 8 times of different degrees. So my next live stream, I'll probably do a post-mortem wrap-up on it, lessons learned, things like that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate each and every one of you. Did have someone buy and gift 20 memberships. Appreciate that more than you'll ever know. And Ernie, if you're still in here, Miss Christie got one of them, but you didn't. Neener. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. All the rods are in. We're going to pack up. We're going to get our trash, get out of here, and go. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.